Chapter 208. Young Master Lin. Everyone has their own way of life. You can't have bad intentions just because he is like this. Feng Poliu pulled Lin Fan and hoped that he could use his sincere words to convince him not to offend more people because of his rash actions. For example, he was low profile and kind. He had friends all over the world. Although he couldn't borrow money from them, he felt that his way of doing things was good. He had been around for so many years and didn't have many enemies. In his words, this was the change of a man after 40. Mature and responsible. At the same time, he respected society. Lin Fan looked at Feng Poliu and said helplessly, "Why do I feel that you are so timid?" "I am timid?" Feng Poliu stared and pointed at himself. This was the funniest sentence he had heard in his life. He really wanted to ask Lin Fan if he knew who he was. Did he know what vicious things he had done in the past? "Don't you know that I used to be famous for being ruthless? And that is how it feels." Lin Fan nodded and didn't want to say anything more. But such a combination was good. One was bold and one was timid. When they made decisions, they would have time to calm down and think about what they were going to face next. He admitted that this arrogant Zhao Bufan had a strong family background, but that wasn't a reason for him not to be beaten up. He didn't need to kill him, but he definitely needed to be beaten up. He didn't do that because he saw that he was rich or because he was jealous. That wasn't the case. But because he was so young and relied on his family background to be so arrogant, it would have a huge impact on his future development. So he had the responsibility and obligation to teach him a lesson in case he fell deeper and deeper and walked down the wrong path. Feng Poliu was such a shallow person. So how could he understand his good intentions? He didn't understand. Did they understand? Zhao Bufan had 3 followers beside him. They were all really old. They looked like they were at least 50 years old, maybe even older. To be able to reach Master Realm at this age meant that they weren't talented and didn't have many opportunities. Even if they came here, they would probably just take a look. Now, that young Master Zhao had jumped out and thrown out such a huge temptation. How could these people tolerate it? However, most of the people there were from the various forces. They were just spectators. Most of them did not fight or cause a ruckus. After all, the Zhao family was indeed very powerful. They could not afford to offend them. Even their sex could not afford to offend them. Feng Poliu looked at Zhao Bufan and felt really helpless. Why did he have to do that? Did he know that his high profile attracted someone's attention? But you don't even know it, and you're still exuding the arrogance that only a noble family has the right to exude. He observed the situation around him. Young Master Zhao's strength was not strong. Perhaps he could be described as trash. Logically speaking, with this kind of status, there would definitely be experts protecting him when he went out. But some people were very strange. They didn't need the protection of experts when they went out. They just walked around arrogantly and used their family background or wealth to tempt those people. After a long time, young Master Zhao felt good and left with the 3 people who followed him. Although his actions here made many people feel that he was a little arrogant, this arrogance was not without reason. If they were young masters of a Zhao clan, they might be even more arrogant than young masters of the Zhao clan. "Let's go, let's follow," Lin Fan said. When they were at the entrance, young Master Zhao showed his shocking side once more. Writing an IOU, going to Zhao family to get money. He was just so overbearing and made one feel helpless. In front of a true noble family, the market took a step back and broke the rules. "Young Master Zhao, do you need us to send people to protect you when you leave?" Zhao Bufan mocked. "No, when I go out, I never need anyone to protect me. Or maybe you are worried and want to send people to Zhao family to get money. Are you afraid that I will go back on my word?" "No, definitely not. It is best if you don't, otherwise you are looking down on my Zhao family." Zhao Bufan smiled and brought his 3 newly recruited brothers out. He couldn't be envious. Lin Fan wanted to do such a thing, but his ability was limited. That might not give him face. In the end, he was still too weak. If he was stronger, then this wouldn't have happened. He was outside. This carriage of riches wasn't his anymore. It was taken by the people from the market. He felt that the riches were used up too quickly. He didn't even warm it up in his hands, and it was given away just like that. It really made him feel helpless. "Take it," It is better if you wear it later. Fong Poliu took out 3 masks. He bought them last time and carried them with him. He thought that he wouldn't need them, but who knew that he would really need them today? This thing, Lin Fan was helpless. A mask to cover his head? He actually didn't like to wear masks, but looking at the situation, not wearing a mask would scare Fong Poliu to death. Rome City outskirts. A luxurious carriage slowly traveled on the official path. Young Master Zhao wouldn't stay in Rome City and had another goal. 3 of his followers drove the carriage while others rode horses and guarded at the sides. To them, it was good to be able to join the Zhao family boat. Even if Zhao Bufan didn't look like much, he was still the Zhao family young master. As long as they needed him, he would be able to help them raise their cultivation. They had no choice. There were 2 shortcuts to cultivation. One was to join a sect, but that needed time. Sects needed loyalty, and they were competitive. One couldn't just do whatever one wanted. The other was to join an aristocratic family. Whether or not their strength could increase represented whether or not their master had more room to be active. So if they wanted to raise their cultivation, young Master Zhao would definitely help. But that would require them to pay a higher price. Not only loyalty, but also dignity, personality, and going against one's wishes. Within the carriage, Zhao Bufan laid there. He held a long pipe in one hand and a small bottle in the other. He opened the cap and poured something into the small hole in the pipe. What fell out from the bottle was golden powder. This was a really precious thing. When one inhaled it, not only would it make one excited, but would also strengthen one's meridians and physique. The only side effect was that one would get addicted. Comfortable. Zhao Bufan sucked in a deep breath, and a comfortable expression appeared on his face. If there were young and beautiful maids to massage his legs, that would be even better. Unfortunately, he didn't like to bring people when he was outside. When he reached the next city, he could find some girls to spend this boring time with him. He picked up the teacup and was about to take a sip when the carriage stopped and the tea splashed on his body. What happened? Young Master Zhao opened the curtains and asked in rage. He couldn't even do such a small thing like driving a carriage. So what else could he do? That really infuriated him. Young Master Zhao, someone is blocking the way. Qintai said warily. Zhao Bufan looked out and noticed that not far away, there were 3 masked men waiting quietly. Their expressions were really unhappy. Young Master Zhao, let us solve this, Qintai said. Since he followed young Master Zhao, then naturally he had to perform well. They were all initial master and felt that they were really strong. Zhao Bufan waved his hands impatiently. Solve it quickly. Don't let any random person block my carriage. After saying that, young Master Zhao shrunk back into the carriage and continued to enjoy his godlike life. Pung, pung. Very quickly, there was a really intense shaking sound from outside. The shaking was really loud, and there was also a really low voice. But to Zhao Bufan, he was really satisfied. These 3 newly recruited fighters were not bad. They were temporarily of some use. However, it wasn't enough to bring them back to Zhao family. But if they were loyal enough and could make him happy, he didn't mind developing them. With Zhao family's ability, it wasn't hard to develop peak Master Realm experts. Very quickly, the movement outside disappeared and everything became really silent. Is it over? Zhao Bufan lay there lazily and squinted his eyes. Occasionally he would listen to the movement outside. Since it is over, then let's go. The curtains were pulled open. Zhao Bufan turned his head, but suddenly a hand grabbed him. It grabbed his head and dragged him out of the carriage. Let go, you let go. Young Master, Zhao hollered in rage. He was the Zhao family young master, especially someone who said that he would pay for everything. Such domineering words, how could he be treated like that? There was a pong. Zhao Bufan fell to the ground. His makeup was a little messy. He stared at the masked man in rage. Who are you? You're actually so bold. I am the Zhao family young master. Do you all want to die? He looked around. The 3 fighters he recruited were all smashed into the deep hole. He didn't know if they were dead or alive, but they were totally useless. How did this happen? Weren't these people Master Realm experts? Even if they weren't his match, they shouldn't have lost so quickly, right? He reported his family name every time. Many people feared Zhao family's position and didn't dare to act rashly. There were even many people who would lick his boots. Young Master Zhao, I know you. I have a basic understanding of your family and position. But I'm a little tight today. I hope that young Master Zhao can cooperate. Lin Fan said. Zhao Bufan was stunned and then reacted. He knew who he was and still wanted to take the risk. That only meant one thing. He was at the end of his rope. Actually, we can make a deal. I cherish talents, and since you can defeat my guards, it means that you are really strong. Why not follow me? I can give you everything you want. Wealth, women, power, even top techniques, I can get them for you. How about that? Lin Fan smiled. I've already treated you like this, and you can still give me good things. Haha. Zhao Bufan laughed. What is that? My Zhao family wants loyalty. Even if you're disrespectful to me, as long as you are loyal, then there is no problem. You can think about it. I think you will choose the best choice. Yes, I have made my choice. Lin Fan said. Zhao Bufan smiled. Okay, I won't worry about this. Help me up. What are you doing? Zhao Bufan panicked. What the F*** CK are you doing? Chapter 209. Feng Polio looked at the scenes in front of him and was speechless. He actually didn't know what to say. The high and mighty young master Zhao was stripped clean. Not a single thread was left. As expected from a pampered, rich family young master, your skin is white and tender. Even girls might not have skin like yours. Lin Fan sized him up. That invasive gaze caused Zhao Bufan's butt to tighten. He was actually a little afraid. What do you want to do? Zhao Bufan's eyes were filled with terror. He wasn't afraid that Lin Fan would kill him, but he was afraid that Lin Fan would torture his body. In a true aristocratic family, as they focused on matching families, their descendants were all strong. None of them looked ugly, which gave birth to some sick thoughts. For example, just thinking about it made him feel terrified and disgusted. Lin Fan searched his clothes. Apart from finding dozens of golden invitations, there was also a crystal box. A white mist floated up from it. Feng Poliu said softly, we can't use these invitations. They have the Zhao family mark on them. If we use them, we will attract unnecessary problems. Actually, this is a protective measure of the Zhao family. He was knowledgeable and knew things that others didn't. Such invitations could be exchanged for money in the various banks, but there was something special about them. Each strong family would leave a mark on it. It was to prevent their wealth from being stolen or their disciples from being robbed, and they couldn't find the target. Invitations with a special mark were different. As long as one dared to use it, then they would know who you were. Oh, is that so? That is a waste. Lin Fan was really calm. He looked like someone who wouldn't be moved by money. Actually, he felt really sad. He could see it, but couldn't use it. That really made him feel helpless. He then opened the crystal box, and a fragrance surged into his face. The pill was golden in color, like it was spitting out a golden light. It was really eye-piercing. What is this pill? Lin Fan asked. Zhao Bufan felt pained. It was obvious that it was something really important to him. Feng Poliu found it weird. This is a purple gold dragon essence pill. I heard that you really have to kill a dragon and use its pellet energy to craft it. It is a priceless treasure. I have heard of it, but I have never seen it before. Dragon? Lin Fan found it weird. There were really dragons here? If there were dragons, then the martial arts realm of this world would be a little abnormal. Can you return this pill to me? I can use other things to trade with you. Zhao Bufan couldn't calm down anymore. This pill was just too important to him. This was a pill that could only be consumed by the direct descendants of the family. Each person could only have one in their lifetime. He had kept it until now so that he could consume it when he reached the peak of the 12th grade of the martial path. At that time, he would be able to perfectly absorb the medicinal energy of the pill and obtain all sorts of wonders. Then, Zhao Bufan looked at Feng Poliu and said, you know what this pill is, so you definitely aren't a normal person. You should know what kind of existence my Zhao family is. Offending Zhao family won't do you any good. Pass the pill to me, and you can take everything else. If not, you will regret it. Even if you kill me, it is useless. My Zhao family's ability isn't something you can imagine. Feng Poliu agreed with what Zhao Bufan said. Zhao family wasn't a normal family, and they couldn't be offended. If they killed Zhao Bufan, then things would become complicated. With Zhao family's ability, although it was a little problematic to find who did it, it was definitely possible. Zhao Bufan was furious. If he knew that this would happen, he should have let those people escort him. Such a thing wouldn't have happened. Pung! Just at that moment, Lin Fan stepped on Zhao Bufan's head and then tossed the box to Zhou Zhongmao. Cousin, this pill is for you. He had a small support system and didn't care about pills. To him, these were just small things. As long as he earned some rage points, then everything else wasn't a problem. When Feng Poliu saw Lin Fan toss the pill to the honest Zhou Zhongmao, he was really envious. Oh my God, he should have given it to him. This pill was really useful to him. Cousin, what about you? Zhou Zhongmao asked. Lin Fan said, I don't need it. Although both of them wore masks, the way they called each other was obvious. Cousin? Zhao Bufan remembered it in his heart. He knew that he definitely wouldn't be able to keep these pills. Lin Fan released his leg and squatted down. He was helpless about the rage points that didn't appear. It was obvious that he didn't look at his face, so there were no rage points. Don't you want to know who I am? Then, I will let you take a look. Lin Fan looked at Zhao Bufan and then slowly took off his mask. Young Master Zhao panicked and shook his head. He closed his eyes and shouted, No, I won't look. I don't know who you are and I don't want to know who you are. Don't let me see your face. When he faced such a thing, he closed his eyes right away. He knew his identity and status and still wanted to show him his face. It was obvious that he wanted to kill him. No, definitely not. He definitely couldn't. Feng Poliu covered his face and didn't want to say anything more. This was a sin. Young Master Lin, what were you thinking? He could swear to the heavens that he had never met such a person in his life. Even if his father was Lin Wani, he couldn't be so stubborn, right? Actually, he was wrong. Not only was Lin Fan stubborn, but he needed rage points. To raise his strength, he didn't fear anything. Even if he was from a rich aristocratic family, he wouldn't be afraid. Look at me, Lin Fan said in a commanding tone. I don't want to take the thing and leave. I will act like I don't know anything. Zhao Bufan lowered his head and touched the ground. With his many years of experience, when he saw his face, he would die. Even if the family would take revenge for him. So what? He was already dead. Lin Fan grabbed Zhao Bufan's head and opened his eyes. Look, remember my face. Remember it forever. Don't forget it. What was imprinted in Zhao Bufan's eyes was a young face. Rage points plus 111. Rage points plus 222. Rage points plus 777. At that moment, rage points increased. Young Master Zhao's heart was filled with rage towards Lin Fan. When he saw the real person, the rage exploded out. Very good. Lin Fan smiled in satisfaction. He didn't want to kill this fellow. Although he was arrogant, letting him go might have a different effect. Zhao Bufan was furious, but he still wanted to close his eyes and roll his eyes. He wanted to act like he didn't see his face. He really didn't see his face. I hope you can understand my goal. I'm doing this to you because I want you to understand how dangerous the world is. Family background and status are unreliable. Only when you're strong can you be arrogant and do whatever you want. But you still don't understand. But after this matter, I think you should understand. Lin Fan used strength and pressed Zhao Bufan's face to the ground. Remember, I'm doing this to let you grow. If you are angry, then I will be happy. Come, be angrier, okay? Rage points plus 999, it exploded. Zhao Bufan's rage points exploded. He had never faced such a situation before. Damn, how hateful. As a true rich family young master, he was surrounded by everyone. When had he ever received such treatment? But now, he didn't dare to fight back. Lin Fan showed him face and abused him. He was just a thin line between life and death. Suddenly, he realized that Lin Fan released his head. Was he going to send him on his way? For some reason. At that moment, Zhao Bufan suddenly calmed down. He didn't beg for mercy or use his family status to gain some hope. A cold wind blew. Zhao Bufan shuddered. A rustling sound spread out from not far away. He raised his head and noticed that Lin Fan was stripping the clothes of the people he called. So perverted? Feng Polio looked at Zhao Bufan. He hesitated and didn't know what to do. To kill or not to kill. Lin Fan had 3 secret techniques in his hands. They were all Master Realm. Of course, they couldn't compare to what he bought, but it was still a gain. As expected of the golden belt of murder and arson, this was the fastest way to get rich. Before Lin Fan left, he looked at Zhao Bufan and said, "Young Master Zhao, remember my face. I hope that you will always think about me. I look forward to the next time we meet. What will you look like? Go." Then, Lin Fan hid into the darkness. Feng Poliu was filled with disbelief. He let him go, just like that. Didn't he kill him? At least killing him would reduce a lot of problems. Zhou Zhongmao's hands were itchy. He couldn't help but want to clear this hidden danger. But since cousin wanted to let him go, he could only bear with it. Actually, the best plan is to kill him. Feng Poliu said, letting him go is the best plan. Letting him go can reduce a lot of unnecessary problems. Lin Fan smiled. He could understand the thoughts of a rich family young master. He definitely wouldn't spread such a thing, especially to someone who liked to act cool. If others found out, what would they think? Wouldn't he lose all his face? Even if danger struck, it would be young Master Zhao who sent people to find him. Zhao family wouldn't personally appear. So, did they really think that he was dumb? And it just like that? Zhao Bufan looked around in disbelief. Did he really let him go? Or would there be a sudden counterattack? That shouldn't be possible. He continued to lay on the ground and wait. There was no movement at all, and everything was safe. Then, Zhao Bufan was furious. Damn it. I will definitely find you. Zhao Bufan gritted his teeth. Rage burned in his heart. He was naked, and it affected his image. He picked up the clothes on the ground. Damn, his clothes were ripped, and he couldn't wear them at all. He walked in front of the 3 of them and picked up their clothes. They were in a similar situation, but they were better than his. He bore with the dirty clothes and slowly wore them. Chapter 210. I'm not dead yet. Qin Tai opened his eyes and felt like his bones were about to fall apart. Before he fainted, he only remembered that Lin Fan punched him to the ground and he instantly lost consciousness. To him, it was just too terrifying. How could there be such a strong person? Although he was old, he was once a tyrant in a certain place. People gave him the title of Unparalleled Iron Fist. He relied on his iron fist to sweep hundreds of miles and was invincible. It was really cold. He lowered his head and saw that he was totally naked. The fur in front of his chest swayed in the wind. What was going on? Who was it that took off his clothes and did something outrageous when he was unconscious? What kind of world was this? They didn't even let off a middle-aged man. How could they be so evil? Zhang Mu and the other person woke up. They coughed and were badly injured. However, that wasn't important. What was important was that they realized that they were naked and their clothes were ripped off. That masked person was so terrifying. They had no way to fight back at all. Young Master Zhao, the clothes you are wearing are mine. Qin Tai noticed that young Master Zhao's clothes were familiar. He looked closely and realized that it was his clothes. Zhao Bufan coughed. That thief defeated you, and I used my family's secret technique to force him back. As he was too strong, my clothes were ripped, so I took yours. Do you have any objections? Naturally, he wouldn't say that his clothes were ripped and he had no clothes to wear, so he could only wear yours. Sometimes when one was tortured, one had to act cool. No. Qin Tai shook his head. However, it felt weird to not wear clothes. Scoff. Zhao Bufan said unhappily. I found you to solve some small matters for me, but I didn't expect that I would need to personally attack. I am really disappointed. Forget it. I didn't have much hope for you. Leave Rong City and bring you back to Zhao family to train you. Yes. The 3 of them lowered their heads. They just became young Master Zhao's men and faced such a thing. Zhao Bufan acted like he was really calm and swallowed his tears. His heart was filled with sadness. What he couldn't forget was the purple gold dragon essence pill. He wanted to wait until he reached grade 12 to consume it and absorb the dragon essence power to become the strongest master. Who knew? He couldn't take it. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. Damn it, I will definitely find you. Rage points plus 333 Chengdu. Li Mansion. Cousin, you should take this pill. I don't need it. Zhou Zhongmao pushed the pill in front of his cousin. Although his cousin gave him such a good pill, he couldn't bear to use it. He still hoped that his cousin could use it. Young Master Lin, your cousin is right. You should consume this purple gold dragon essence pill. This is a magical pill and the foundation of Zhao family. Each direct descendant will consume it, and it can change one's body in meridians to reach the strongest master realm. This is a treasure that others can't even dream of. Feng Poliu said. He was envious, jealous, and hateful. Who would have thought that young Master Zhao would actually have such a precious treasure on him that he had not used? If those people who came to the market had known that young Master Zhao had an extremely precious pill like the violet gold dragon essence pill on him, they probably wouldn't be the only ones trying to rob him. The temptation was too huge and covered the risk. It was enough to make one go crazy. Lin Fan smiled. I don't need it. Cousin, you should take it. My father opened up your meridians and left you with hidden injuries. Since this pill is so amazing, it will definitely help you recover. I don't want my cousin to be a person with flaws. He really didn't need the pill. As long as he had rage points, he could raise it. It was simple and there were no side effects. Especially when he stacked cultivation techniques, he felt like he wasn't a human anymore. It was hard to describe that feeling, but it felt really good. Feng Poliu gave Lin Fan a thumbs up. Respect. I really respect you. Young Master Lin, I really respect you. I have never seen someone give such an expensive thing to someone else. Those I saw were people who killed one another for treasures. Although Lin Fan spent 100 silver to hire him as a helper of Marshall Path Mountain, but he wanted to leave. Naturally, 100 silver couldn't tempt him. However, for some reason, this young Master Lin who liked to cause trouble and didn't have a brain gave off an aura that made one want to explore. He wanted to see how far young Master Lin would go. Lin Fan said casually, just a pill, I don't care much about it. However, do you think there really are dragons in this world? Yes, but they are very rare. Based on what I know, only Zhao family knows where dragons exist. Feng Poliu said, this wasn't a secret. Many aristocratic families and sects knew about Zhao family's secret. Moreover, the purple gold dragon essence pill was a top pill. Many aristocratic families and sects hoped to buy it from Zhao family. However, Zhao family didn't sell it and there was nowhere to find it. His luck was just too good. It was so good that it was about to go against the heavens. Lin Fan thought about it. Interesting, but he didn't know what kind of dragon it was. Cousin, quickly consume it. We will protect you, Lin Fan said. Feng Poliu said, actually, it is best to consume it when you're grade 12. However, in case anything happens, consuming it now is also a choice. At least Zhao family won't be able to find it. Zhou Zhongmao looked at his cousin. Seeing him nod his head, he didn't hesitate and consumed the pill. A golden pill entered his stomach, and he waited for a shocking change. The original cousin's calm expression suddenly changed. He sat cross-legged and closed his eyes tightly. Indistinctly, there was a golden light shining from his belly button. Then it rose abruptly, like a golden dragon spiraling up, straight into his brain. The dragon roared. This pill is interesting, Lin Fan said. This was the first time Feng Poliu saw someone consume the purple gold dragon essence pill in front of him. Naturally, he looked on seriously. At the same time, he sensed the changes in Zhou Zhongmao's body. Young Master Lin, be careful in case anything happens, Feng Poliu said. Taking any top-notch elixir was not safe. This purple gold dragon essence pill was not the kind of elixir that would make one invincible in the world after consuming it. However, its miraculous effects were very miraculous. Anyway, as far as he knew, there were many miraculous effects. There was also a small chance of it turning into a dragon. That was truly amazing. Out of the Zhao family peak experts, there was one person who had the ability to turn into a dragon after consuming the pill. He grew into a true expert and was much stronger than people of the same cultivation. Cousin frowned. There was a mist formed from internal energy floating around, and it was getting thicker and thicker. But Cousin's expression was like he was in pain. Green veins circled around, like many giant dragons were attached to his skin, like they could break out at any moment. This is expanding the meridians. The purple gold dragon essence pill is really amazing. Its effects are really terrifying. Feng Poliu said, "Are you jealous?" Lin Fan asked, "Aren't you talking nonsense?" Feng Poliu rolled his eyes. Who wasn't jealous? Only he was willing to give it to his cousin. As the insect valley flute, naturally he had consumed some good pills, but he hadn't consumed the purple gold dragon essence pill. He wanted to try. Suddenly, something happened. Cousin's skin started to dry up. It happened really quickly, such that one couldn't react at all. Not good. Your cousin's internal strength is dissipating like something is absorbing it. Let's inject internal strength into him. Feng Poliu said solemnly. Lin Fan was shocked. He didn't hesitate. Sitting on cousin's shoulder, an internal strength surged in. When Feng Poliu placed his hand on it, he released it. Actually needs the same internal strength, otherwise his body will reject it. I will do it. You just watch from the side. Lin Fan cultivated the demon-enforcing heart scripture and had the same type of internal strength as cousin. When the internal strength entered cousin's body, he noticed that there was a strong attraction force striking him. What's going on with my cousin? Lin Fan asked. Feng Poliu thought about it for a moment. I am not sure, but I feel like something huge is happening. Look, there are fish scales on your cousin's wrist. Lin Fan looked over. It was indeed a scale, but what the hell was this fish scale? Do you know how to look? These are dragon scales. You said dragon transformation. Is my cousin transforming into a dragon? Feng Poliu frowned. That shouldn't be possible. If it was so easy, then Zhao family wouldn't only have one or two. Even if your cousin is strong, his luck wouldn't be so good. Also, when your internal strength runs out, you have to let go, otherwise you'll be sucked dry. To Feng Poliu, this was the first time he personally witnessed someone consume a purple gold dragon essence pill. As for what would happen, he really wasn't sure. But he knew about the rumors of dragon transformation. However, he remembered that it was really hard, basically a 1 in 10,000 chance. It was even harder than 1 in 10,000. Oh, Lin Fan saw that cousin was slowly calming down and heaved a sigh of relief. As for the problem of internal strength running out, that was a good question. It basically didn't exist. After a long while, cousin's dry skin slowly recovered. Not a loss. This really wasn't a loss. Lin Fan was overjoyed. He didn't expect that this pill would allow his cousin to turn into a dragon. If he were to consume it, he would probably just taste like a rather decent chocolate candy. When cousin's internal strength slowly calmed down, Lin Fan let go. He didn't look tired at all, like everything was normal. Your internal strength. Feng Poliu was stunned. One could even say that his mouth was agape. However, he seemed to understand why Zhao family had so many people who could turn into dragons. If the dragon transformation required a steady flow of internal energy, then it would be impossible. Not many people would be able to withstand it. But at the same time, he was thinking about one thing. How did the Zhao family members who had dragon transformation manage to survive? 1. Just at that moment, with cousin at the center, internal strength spread out. Zhou Zhongmao's cultivation instantly rose, reaching initial grade 10. The internal strength he gave off was much stronger than those at the peak of martial path grade 10. Chapter 211. Cousin. Zhou Zhongmao opened his eyes with a smile on his face. I seem to have become stronger. In the future, if cousin meets any enemies, I will be able to crush them easily. Lin Fan smiled. No problem. I will leave it to you in the future. How is it? Do you feel different? Like transforming or something? A thoughtful expression appeared on Zhou Zhongmao's simple and honest face. Cousin, does this count? Instantly, cousin's eyes changed, turning into golden dragon eyes. These weren't eyes that a human could have. Amazing, these are dragon eyes. Lin Fan exclaimed. This was the first time Feng Poliu saw such a situation. Damn, his luck was too good. He turned into a dragon, just like that. If the Zhao clan were to find out about this, they would probably want to die. Moreover, he had heard that dragonization was divided into different parts. Some would dragonize their arms, some would dragonize their feet, some would dragonize their skin, and so on. There were many types, and he was not sure about the specifics. In any case, to him, being able to dragonize was a sign of strength. This was something that he couldn't even envy. Cousin, is there anything special like an ability? Lin Fan asked. Zhou Mao scratched his head. Cousin, I have some ability, take a look. Just at that moment, Cousin's dragon eyes shone a weak golden light. Poochie, an invisible shockwave spread out. Although there weren't any changes, Lin Fan realized that there was a certain aura pressing down on his body. Dragon aura? Lin Fan muttered. That was a new word. Young Master Lin, that is a decent move. Dragon aura is suitable. The aura that he gave off could crush a martial path grade 9 expert. Even people of the same realm would be greatly suppressed. I didn't expect the purple gold dragon essence pill to have such strength. Do you regret not consuming it yourself? Feng Poliu smiled and asked. He looked really calm, but deep down he was shocked. Lin Fan looked at Feng Poliu and said, Your words are wrong. Don't use the word regret on me and my cousin. My cousin never regretted what he did for me. I gave him things. Even if it is the best thing, I won't regret it. Forget it. You won't be able to imagine the relationship between me and my cousin. Feng Poliu was helpless. He said that you were fat, and you really panted. Lin Fan patted his cousin's shoulder. Cousin, go back and rest well. If you feel anything wrong, tell me right away. Don't think about it yourself. Cousin, I will continue to cultivate. I feel that my body is filled with power. Martial Path Grade 10 isn't my end. I can continue to improve. Zhou Mao said. Feng Poliu's eyes turned red. Oh my God, such a great opportunity was given to this blockhead. He really couldn't understand Lin Fan. He had no idea what gave him the confidence to give up such a rare opportunity. Inside the house, Lin Fan got such a huge opportunity for cousin. He felt really good. Although he didn't know how strong dragon transformation was, from what Feng Poliu said, it was really rare. Even Zhao family didn't have many. Not bad, not bad. He checked the small support system. Rage points. 33842. This period of wandering was not bad. He didn't waste any time and just added a point. Constitution increased by 370 to 380. Physique, 380, Middle Master. This wasn't like before where each increase would be a huge realm. Now that he broke through to Master Realm, he could only slowly increase it. For normal people to break through to Master Realm, techniques weren't a problem. The key was the Governor and Conception Meridians. The Governor and Conception Meridians sounded simple, but it was actually really tough. It involved the Yin and Yang Ocean. However, he had the small support system. As long as he had enough rage points, everything was fine. Increase internal strength. Internal strength, 380, Middle Master. Just this increase consumed 20,000 rage points. The consumption of dual cultivation was huge, but he felt that it was worth it. If he didn't have any outstanding areas, how could he suppress people of the same realm? He still had some rage points that he didn't touch. His 2 external cultivation techniques didn't improve, and he still didn't reach the basics. As for the techniques that he got from a few people, although they were Master Realm techniques, they weren't good enough. Even if he cultivated them, he would just waste rage points. The next day, the sky was bright. Old Master Li personally knocked on the door. Since the kid was here, naturally, he had to receive him well. Even if his father, Brother Lin, offended King Wudong, he didn't look down on him. He was definitely a good elder. Courtyard. Uncle, sorry for disturbing you. Lin Fan cupped his fists and thanked him. Old Master Li waved his hand and smiled. What is nephew saying? How can it be considered disturbing? Uncle is very happy that nephew can stay here. Ha. Lin Fan smiled. Oh right. Did young Master Wang come here for something? If there are any problems, you can tell me to do it. I'm also thanking you for your hospitality. Old Master Li said, It isn't much. He came to propose. You know that my daughter and you are fated, but not fated. When we returned to Rome City, I don't know what that young Master Wang was thinking but he kept pestering me to make me agree. Oh, Lin Fan nodded his head and then said, Uncle, I think that you shouldn't agree. Young Master Wong is really amazing in terms of prostitutes. That day in Yu City, he was brought to a brothel by Yuan family young master and only came out the next day. I heard that he called many beautiful girls and his methods were really fresh. News of that spread throughout Yu City. Ah, old Master Li was shocked. Uncle, are you shocked? Actually, it isn't that bad. I heard that a few girls in Yu City's brothels told others that young Master Wong has many pimples and there's a weird smell. I don't know if he contracted some weird disease. Uncle, don't say that I said that. I think you only have one daughter, so you can't push her into the fire pit. Lin Fan said softly like it was true. Old Master Li was shocked. It was obvious that he was filled with disbelief. Still okay, still okay. Master Li patted his chest as if he was glad that he had made a decision. My dear nephew, you don't know this, but when I was young, I was a good friend of the daughter of a sect. After thinking about it, I decided to send Xiao to my friend's side to cultivate. It is good that uncle has such a method. Lin Fan replied. Just at that moment, Wang Yunfei came. Speak of the devil. And he really came. To Wang Yunfei, he was really anxious. There was a problem down there, and he was unable to get up. To him, this was like a bolt from the blue. It was something that he couldn't accept. However, the key problem was that he had to hide this matter. Based on normal situations, he definitely wouldn't be able to hide it. He definitely couldn't hide it. But when he heard from the grapevine that Master Li was going to send Li Zhixiu to some sect to cultivate, he suddenly had an idea. That was to marry Li Zhixiu. He said, Zhixiu, cultivation is the most important. We don't have to be too anxious. Go to the sect and cultivate. I will wait for you in Rome City. What a perfect thing. Even if other people found out, they wouldn't think that he had any problems. Instead, he would be able to gain a good reputation. However, when he saw the person standing beside old Master Li, Wang Yunfei's expression changed. What was going on? Those few fellows didn't help him last night? Wang Yunfei thought too simply of things. The few people he found were all top experts in the world. They were good at fighting and threatening. As for other high-end things, there was nothing he could do. Uncle Li. Wang Yunfei walked in front of old Master Li and cupped his fists. Old Master Li nodded. Kid, why did you come so early today? Uncle, I've come early today to invite Zhixiu to the cruise. Wang Yunfei smiled. However, he was still wary of Lin Fan. Wasn't this fellow from Yu City? Why did he come to Rome City? Moreover, it seemed like he was staying at the Li family. This wasn't a good sign. There was a problem. There was definitely a problem. Young Master Wong, I spoke to you yesterday, and you left in a hurry. I am really regretful about that. Lin Fan said. Wang Yunfei found it weird. Brother, we haven't met before, right? Lin Fan smiled. You indeed haven't, but I am familiar with young Master Wong. Young Master Wong's name is like thunder to my ears. No, it is just an undeserved reputation. Wang Yunfei said humbly. Even if Lin Fan said those words, he didn't dare to be careless. Lin Fan said, how can it be an undeserved reputation? Young Master Wong killed everyone in Yu City's Hongqiu Pavilion, killing all the girls there. News of that has spread throughout Yu City. Who doesn't respect young Master Wong? F***ck your mother. Wang Yunfei was furious. He thought that Lin Fan would say something human. But who knew that he didn't even say anything human? What the hell was he talking about? He said it yesterday, and he still said it today. Did he really think that he was easy to bully? Rage points plus 222. Wang Yunfei's expression wasn't good as he said calmly, Brother, did you remember wrongly? I have never been to such places. He then looked towards old Master Li. Uncle Li, who is this person? Why did he say such humiliating words to me? Does he really think that I am such a person? Do you want to force me to swear? Lin Fan smiled. Okay, you can swear. F***ck your mother. Rage points plus 333. Wang Yunfei took in a deep breath and stared at Lin Fan in rage. You came here just to find trouble with me. How did I offend you? Why did you have to talk about me going to brothels? Or did that bastard Yuan Tianshu betray me? And after I left, he would spread the news about me going to brothels? That had to be the case. Apart from him, who else would be so free to spout such nonsense? Yuan Tianshu, who was far away on Marshall Path Mountain, was the innocent scapegoat. To old Master Li, he felt that this matter wasn't right. Nephew Lin was so angry at young Master Wang. Was he jealous? Was he unhappy that young Master Wang came to propose? My daughter's charm is so great. As such, old Master Li couldn't help but think about it. Chapter 2:12. Wang Yunfei was so furious that he wanted to press Lin Fan to the ground and beat him up. Were you even a human? Did I offend you, or did I screw your whole family? We just met a few times, and you kept grabbing onto my dirt. Are you afraid that people don't know? Is it that I can't fight, or is it that you're too arrogant? Okay, stop arguing. Nephew Wang, my Xiao, will head to the sect to cultivate in a few days. Marriage isn't a rush. With your character and status, you will definitely be able to find someone better. Old Master Li persuaded. When he saw how furious Wang Yunfei was, it was obvious that he believed Lin Fan's words. It seemed like Wang Yunfei was a god that descended from the heavens. His combat strength was unparalleled, and he contracted an illness that he shouldn't have contracted. Wang Yunfei opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. He was rejecting him. For some reason, he pushed all the blame to Lin Fan. It had to be that dog. If he didn't say all that, how would things have turned out like this? Then, the way he looked at Lin Fan had a huge change. Grievance, rage, and also helplessness. Uncle Li, since that is the case, then I will take my leave. Wang Yunfei cupped his fists. When he left, he stared at Lin Fan furiously like he was saying that he would remember him. Very quickly, Wang Yunfei left in a dejected manner. He hated Lin Fan, and, at the same time, he hated Yuan Tianshu as well. That bastard's mouth was really loose. He was definitely waiting for him to leave to spread the news of him visiting brothels. How despicable. Don't think that I will let you off. When the time comes, I will teach you a lesson. Back courtyard. Suelon ran really quickly and came in front of little Mississippi. She panted, Little miss, that Lin family young master and Wang family young master quarreled. Li Zhixio was wiping her spearhead. When she heard that, she asked curiously, Why did they quarrel? Suelon said, I don't know. Young Master Wang came to propose and met young Master Lin. The two of them quarreled. Little miss, do you think that young Master Lin doesn't want to let you off, so he is jealous? To her, it was very possible. After all, although their young miss liked to play with knives and spears, had a bad temper, and was a little impatient, she was still very good in other aspects. Li Zhixio's hands stopped moving. She was actually a little flustered. She looked down on Wang Yunfei, because she knew his character wasn't good. As for young Master Lin, she was under a lot of pressure. The feeling that the Lin family gave her was terrifying, and her heart couldn't take it. So, when her father agreed to let her go to the sect to cultivate, she was really excited and had long thrown everything else to the back of her mind. To her, going to the sect to cultivate was the most important thing. So, Elan, don't make wild guesses. Things shouldn't be what you think. Li Zhixio said, Is that so? I don't think so. Suilon muttered softly. That was indeed true. She sneaked a peek and really saw the two of them going head-to-head. Uncle Li, I have been away for a long time, so I shall not disturb you any further. I am here to say goodbye to you. Lin Fan cupped his fists. His harvest in Chengdu was not bad, and there was nothing else for him to do even if he continued to stay. He was lazy to even bother about Wang Yunfei. He fought to the death and used such vicious words to insult him. This bit of rage points wasn't enough at all. Kid, why don't you stay for a few more days? Old Master Li asked, wanting him to stay. From a deeper level, he noticed that the kid was not bad, unlike when he was in the Lin family. No, I have something to do, so I won't disturb you. Lin Fan said. Old Master Li saw that Lin Fan had decided to leave, so he didn't try to stop him. What a waste. Some things were just fated, but not fated. It was his fault for being so decisive and leaving the Lin family. After all, King Wudong's name was really terrifying. When Lin Fan and the others left, they actually bumped into Li Zhixio at the entrance. Suilan was traumatized by Lin Fan. She retreated in fear. Her mind was filled with scenes from the Lin Manor. It was just so terrifying. Lin Fan smiled and nodded towards Li Zhixiu as a greeting. He then left without even turning his head. Outside, young Master Lin, that girl isn't good enough for you? I think she's not bad. Feng Poliu said. Lin Fan said calmly, of course. To you, she is not bad. Actually, to me, she is just average. With a different status and identity, naturally, one's eyes are different too. Damn. Feng Poliu kept silent. He suddenly realized that it was really dangerous to talk to Lin Fan. Without even batting an eyelid, he allowed Lin Fan to act cool. That was really terrifying. Cousin, is there anything wrong with your body? Lin Fan asked. Zhou Zhomao shook his head. No, everything is normal. That's good. Lin Fan nodded his head and heaved a sigh of relief. No matter what, the pill that cousin consumed was the Zhao family's purple gold dragon essence pill. They didn't have much understanding of it, so if something happened, it would be problematic. Feng Poliu said enviously, he is fine. To your cousin, this is a great fortune. But I suggest that you don't let him dragon transform in front of everyone. If Zhao family finds out, the outcome will be catastrophic. At least before he reaches a certain level of strength, don't let others know. You don't need to say that, I know. Zhao family, Imperial Dynasty, I really want to take a look. Lin Fan said. After learning that there were so many interesting places outside, he was tempted. Feng Poliu rolled his eyes. What other place didn't he want to go? He could tell that wherever Lin Fan went, he would definitely offend some sort of power there. Let's not talk about some small family. Just 9 bug gang, he had offended them. There was also Imperial Dynasty's Zhao family. He had offended half of them. He wasn't old and his cultivation wasn't high, but the people he offended weren't simple. It wasn't easy for him to live until now. The 3 of them rode out of Rong City. After Wang Yunfei returned, he was furious. He had never suffered such humiliation before. I told you to call people. So what did you call? Now that they are all gone, what use do you have? Wang Yunfei hollered at the servant. He said that he would find some experts to teach them a lesson. Now, the experts he found were all gone. They didn't even make a single splash. Young master, those people are definitely experts. Since that surnamed Lin person is still fine, that means that they have met with misfortune. The servant cursed those bastards to death in his heart. Trash, really trash. They couldn't even deal with 3 people. In the past, they even bragged to him that they were invincible within 100 miles. Now, it seemed like they were just bragging, causing him to be scolded by the young master. Wang Yunfei was furious. Trash, what can you do with just you? Wang Yunfei stared. He had no choice. It seemed like he could only find the helpers in a race and ask them to help him regain some face. Outside the city, Lin Fan and the others led their horses and walked on the official path. Young Master Lin, you should be back to Martial Path Mountain now, right? Feng Poliu asked. He had been out for so long and caused such a huge commotion. If he continued, he might not have a good ending. Lin Fan smiled. Actually, I was thinking about not returning so quickly. But forget it. I have been out for a period of time, so I should head back and take a look. Feng Poliu heaved a sigh of relief. He was really afraid that young Master Lin would have other thoughts. That would make things a little complicated. Walk, walk. They slowly reached a place where there was no one. Stop following us, come out. Lin Fan and the others stopped. Not long after they left the city, someone followed them. At the start, they thought that it was just a passerby, but then they realized that the target was them. Pung pung. The sound of leaves shaking spread out. So, the few of you are experts. A person stepped on the leaves and floated in the air. It was an old man who wore a white shirt. His beard was long, and he gave off a celestial aura. Every move he made was filled with a really strong martial path aura. Who are you? Lin Fan looked at the person who came. He looked decent. Even if he didn't have cultivation, with his aura of an expert, he could bluff many people. This old man here is Yuan Shan, a helper of the Wang family. The 3 of you have offended my young master, and you're leaving just like that? Aren't you looking down on my Wang family a little too much? Yuan Shan said calmly. He then landed gently on the ground without making any sound. He observed all sorts of signs. He could see that the old man was really strong and was a true expert. Lin Fan looked at Feng Poliu, and Feng Poliu looked back at him. Both of them had a helpless look in their eyes. They were already thinking of leaving. What do they want to do? Okay, then how does your young master want you to deal with me? Lin Fan asked. Yuan Shan said, my young master is kind and doesn't want to kill you. I just need to smash your mouths and then break your legs. Lin Fan said, are you going or should I? Feng Poliu said, you go, I don't like to bully the old. Moreover, it isn't easy for him. He is already so old, and his cultivation is only middle master. That is enough to show how much hardship he went through when he was young to reach such a stage. Rage points plus 333. Yuan Shan heard the belittling words of these scoundrels. He was so angry that his face turned red. Arrogant, truly arrogant. How dare you look down on me? It seems like if I don't teach you a lesson today, you won't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is. He was really furious. What was he even saying? He didn't like to bully old people? His cultivation was only middle master? He used the word only well, really well. Lin Fan walked towards Yuan Shan with a helpless look on his face. Originally, we were about to leave, and I didn't take your young master's matter to heart. After all, it's just a small matter. I didn't expect him to send someone to stop me. In other words, he is officially declaring war on me? The moment he said that, a terrifying aura exploded out from Lin Fan's body. Yuan Shan's expression changed abruptly. His pupils constricted as if something was amiss. Chapter 213. Yuan Shan was wary and felt like something wasn't right. Energy wrapped around Lin Fan's body. His body gave off a sharp aura. Very good. Wang Yunfei sent you to find me. Actually, he didn't want you to help him vent his anger, but to send you to die. Don't worry, I won't kill you. After all, your aura is not bad. What? Yuan Shan was shocked. He didn't understand what Lin Fan meant. At that moment, he noticed that Lin Fan disappeared in front of him and a terrifying energy struck him. That feeling actually made him feel somewhat at a loss. Instantly, a figure appeared in front of Yuan Shan. In Yuan Shan's eyes, the palm that was spread open was surrounded by extremely terrifying internal energy. No pong, pa, ah, hung long. A simple sound, but it had a different rhythm. This was the suppression of an expert. There weren't many special effects, and there wasn't much nonsense. The ground shook and the ripples weren't huge, but it was different. Actually, I don't like to beat up old men, but I haven't seen many as arrogant as you. Lin Fan looked down from above. In front of him was a 12-centimeter deep hole. There was a sizzling sound around the hole. Lightning was swimming around, and the ground was charred. The old man in the hole, his snow-white shirt was dyed black. His body was covered in a thick white mist. His snow-white beard was curled up so badly that it was almost burnt. Lin Fan heaved a sigh of relief. He opened his fingers and grabbed the old man. The old man closed his eyes. His limbs hung down, and he didn't move at all. The old man couldn't believe what he had just seen. Too terrifying. Or maybe it all happened too quickly, such that he couldn't react at all. Wang Family Helper is a little amazing. It isn't easy for him to reach Master Realm. Lin Fan said. He looked towards Rong City, which was getting smaller and smaller. He felt like it wasn't good to leave just like that. Feng Poliu said, you were too quick. He is a Master Realm expert, and you killed him instantly. It would affect his mental state. I had no choice. He was too weak. It was too difficult to suppress my strength to the same level. Lin Fan shook his head and said, Feng Poliu was helpless. What now? Leave? Impossible. Lin Fan, never find trouble with people, but this Wang family is a little arrogant to actually send people to stop me. Let's return to Rong City and teach them a lesson. Lin Fan said. He then tossed the old man to his cousin, and the three of them headed towards Rong City. Rong City, Wang Mansion. Wang Yunfei sat down and waited for the consecrator to return. He trusted his own helper. Needless to say, he was terrifyingly strong. Master Realm, do you understand? You don't understand? That was a realm that exceeded Martial Path Grade 12. It was a shocking change. No matter if it was in Chengdu or other places, he was not a weak expert. Thinking about the face of that surnamed Lin, Wang Yunfei's anger soared. No one had ever dared to be so presumptuous in front of him. But this Lin guy just had to pop out. He was so angry that his liver was about to explode. Young master, if Helper Yuan were to make a move, it would definitely be incredible. The servant at the side said. The treatment that consecrated Yuan received in the Wang family was incredible. Even the young master of the Wang family did not dare to offend him. Moreover, the Wang family had to find ways to help consecrated Yuan get some heavenly treasures or martial arts manuals. Thinking about it, when did consecrated Yuan come to the Wang family? Thinking about it, it had been over a decade. At that time, consecrated Yuan was just a peak martial path grade 12 expert. In these 10 years, the Wang family spent money and effort to finally raise him to Master Realm. This caused Wang family's position in Rong City to soar. Therefore, it was worth it to spend this time. Wang Yunfei looked at the servant. Aren't you talking nonsense? How can consecrated Yuan attack so casually? He trusted consecrated Yuan a lot. To him, as long as consecrated Yuan attacked, then there was nothing he couldn't solve. Pung! The Wang mansion gate was kicked open. Shortly after, the guard at the gate flew in. The Wang mansion people didn't know what to do. Why would anyone come here to make trouble in broad daylight? When they looked out, they noticed that one of them was carrying a person. Wasn't that consecrated Yuan? Lin Fan looked at the stunned servant and said, I didn't come to find you. Tell your young master Wang to come out and talk to me. At that moment, many guards surged over from all around. They looked at them warily and then hollered in rage. They attacked those people who dared to cause trouble. Take them down. Pung, pung. One figure after another flew into the sky. To the guards, they didn't know what was going on. Before they even got close, they were struck by a power and flew up. The guards floated in the air. Were they flying? It felt good. The air was really fresh. Pung, pung. Not long later, the guards fell from the sky, causing them to cry out for their parents. The pain was unbearable. Lin Fan didn't kill them. He wasn't a killing maniac. Actually, he was a really friendly person. These guards didn't have high cultivations. Most of them were only grade 2 or 3. They were just trying to make a living. When the Wang family manager saw those scenes, his face turned ashen white. How would he dare to look on? He immediately ran into the distance. Reading room. Old master, not good. Something happened. The Wang family manager shouted in panic. He ran really quickly. He was really frightened. It was broad daylight now. For someone to attack the Wang family in broad daylight, how terrifying was this matter? Recently, the Wang family didn't offend anyone. Why are you panicking? What happened? Old Master Wang placed down the book in his hand and frowned. The Wang family manager said, Old Master, 3 people came here to cause trouble and injured many people. And? Cause trouble? Where's Helper Yuan? Old Master Wang asked. Their Wang family had helpers in charge. Normally, when such things happened, they would be the ones to solve it. When he mentioned Helper Yuan, the Wang family manager's face turned ashen white. He stuttered when he spoke. Old Master, Helper Yuan is held in their hands. We don't know if he is dead or alive. Shock. Old Master Wang, who was originally calm, stood up when he heard that. He said solemnly, Is what you said true? Steward Wang said, It's absolutely true. Lin Fan and the other 2 checked out the situation around them. They did not want to kill their way into the Wang family single-handedly. But to be bullied to such an extent, how could they endure it? Don't worry, I'm not interested in all of you. Call your young master out to see me. I have to talk to him. Lin Fan said, if they really started a massacre with the current situation, no one would be able to stand here. P.S. Go out to eat. I have a meal. That's all for tonight's update. I am sorry, brothers. Chapter 214. The servants of the Wang Manor all hid far away, looking at the guards who fell to the ground in shock. They didn't expect that the guards, who they thought were very powerful in the past, would be defeated so easily. They didn't even have a chance to resist. That speed was just too quick. So quick that one couldn't react at all. Did you inform your young master? Lin Fan asked. He wasn't interested in the guards who were lying on the ground and crying out. He did have rage points, but it was just too little. It was so little that it was terrifying. As expected, the rage of the weak was nothing to the strong. It didn't even cause any ripples in his heart. Feng Poliu sighed. These people were sick in the head. They could have offended anyone, but they had to offend this fellow. Didn't they know that people would die if they messed around like that? However, he could see that this fellow showed mercy to the guards. However, he didn't understand why he would be so vicious to 9 Bug Gang, directly leveling their division to the point where he didn't even leave a single chicken or dog alive. The servants who were hiding didn't dare to speak. Who dared to speak at such a time? The outcome would be terrifying. At that moment, footsteps spread out from the distance. The Wong family manager followed behind and said softly, "Old Master, these people are dangerous. We can't be careless." Old Master Wong didn't say anything. How could he not know whether or not they were dangerous? As for being careless, that was even more impossible. They had already fought their way over, which meant that they didn't care about the Wong family at all. Why did the 3 of you come to my Wong family? Or did I offend the 3 of you? Old Master Wong walked over and cupped his fists as he asked. Right away, he saw Yuan Shan, who was being held in his hands. His heart was filled with pain. This was their Wong family helper, but now he was beaten up like a dead dog. His heart was cold, and he actually felt an indescribable sadness. "You are the Wong family head?" Lin Fan asked. From the surface, his aura was outstanding, and one look and one knew that he wasn't a normal person. "Right. Why did the 3 of you come to my Wong family and hurt my helper?" Old Master Wong asked. Even if the helper wasn't his match, he didn't panic. This was the demeanor of the old master. Lin Fan smiled and said, "You are a funny person. Don't you know why your family's consecrator is in my hands?" To old Master Wong, he really had no idea at all. If he really had an idea, he wouldn't be talking nonsense here. Wait a minute. Old Master Wong's heart creaked. That's right. Why was the offering in their hands? Didn't he usually stay in the mansion? Could it be that he went out to stir up trouble and provoked an iron plate and was found by others? Forget it. I'm too lazy to talk to an old man like you. Hurry up and get your son out. I have to have a good chat with him. Lin Fan waved his hand, too lazy to say anything else. Originally, he was prepared to leave Chengdu, but he was attracted back by Wang Yunfei. He had to admit that this fellow had the constitution of attracting hatred. Old Master Wang frowned. He was here to find his son. What exactly happened inside? Could it be that the unfilial son had a conflict with the other party and had asked Consecrated Yuan to teach the other party a lesson? In the end, Consecrated Yuan was no match for the other party, and the other party came looking for trouble? Friend, if it is a conflict between my son and you, I'm willing to apologize. Why don't we just let it go? Old Master Wang said. Lin Fan smiled. You are dreaming. Hurry up and call your son out. Don't say such useless things. Originally, we were preparing to leave Chengdu, but your son sent people to stop us. He actually wanted to smash my mouth and break my leg. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm stronger, your son might have succeeded. Old Master Wang understood. As expected, it was exactly as he thought. As expected, that unfilial kid caused trouble outside. Back courtyard, Wang Yunfei was still waiting for the good news from Consecrated Yuan. However, after waiting for so long, there was no news at all. His efficiency was just too slow. Suddenly, a servant charged over. Young master, not good. Someone came to the Wang family and said that he wants to meet you. The guards couldn't stop him. What? Wang Yunfei stood up. Rage surged into the heavens. Recently, weird things happened one after another. A fellow from a small city dared to offend him. Now, someone actually came to the Wang family to find trouble with him. Do you really think that I, Wang Yunfei, am a vegetarian? He didn't think about anything and walked furiously towards the front courtyard. He wanted to see who was so bold to come to the Wang family to find trouble with him. He was just asking to die. The servant wanted to say something, but he didn't expect that young master didn't listen to him at all. He just charged over angrily. Ahead, old Master Wang was still talking to Lin Fan and hoped to solve this matter. What he didn't expect was that Lin Fan didn't want to talk at all and wanted to see his son. Even consecrated Yuan wasn't his match. That was enough to show how strong he was. The three of you, is there really no way to discuss this? Old Master Wang asked. Just let your son come out. There is nothing else to discuss. Lin Fan said. He felt that his temper was really good. Till now, he didn't attack. At that moment, a furious voice spread out from a distance. Which bastard is blind to dare to cause trouble in my Wang family? Does he really think that I am easy to bully? Wang Yunfei charged over furiously. Recently, his mental state was on the verge of exploding. Why did everyone want to step on his head? When Old Master Wang heard Wang Yunfei's voice, he had a bad feeling. Stupid thing, didn't he see what was going on? Unfilial kid, what nonsense are you saying? Old Master Wang chided. Wang Yunfei came in rage. After being scolded by his father, he was actually stunned. What was going on? Father, why were you scolding me? Now that outsiders came to cause trouble in our Wang family, it was normal for me to be so fierce. When he saw Lin Fan, he was stunned. Damn, why was he here? Didn't consecrated Yuan go to block him? Why did he appear here? When he saw the person in Lin Fan's hand, Wang Yunfei's eyes opened wide like he had seen a ghost. Oh my God, what happened? How did consecrated Yuan become like that? In his heart, consecrated Yuan was a master realm expert. The main character is here. He is looking for you. When Lin Fan saw Wang Yunfei, he smiled. He tossed Yuan Shan his feet. You sent people to block me, but why didn't you send someone stronger? Wang Yunfei stared blankly at consecrated Yuan, who was lying at his feet. His bruised and swollen face seemed to indicate that consecrated Yuan had suffered a terrible beating. Lin Fan walked towards Wang Yunfei. You said that you wanted to smash my mouth and break my legs. I remember all of that in my heart. Wang Yunfei saw Lin Fan walk over, but he didn't move. He opened his mouth and looked at consecrated Yuan and then at Lin Fan. Wait, Old Master Wang walked forwards and wanted to stop what was going to happen. He sensed that something huge was about to happen. It was obvious that Lin Fan wouldn't let his son go so easily. Stop, it has nothing to do with you. Lin Fan pushed Old Master Wang aside and then stood in front of Wang Yunfei. I don't want your life. After all, you didn't want me to die. But you want to break my legs, so this matter isn't so easy to solve. You. Wang Yunfei was about to speak, but he suffered a slap. Gotcha. Wang Yunfei's face was about to change shape. Large amounts of fresh blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. His teeth broke and fell to the ground. A short moment of pain struck him. Wang Yunfei covered his mouth with his hands and cried out in pain. It was so painful, it hurt so much. Fresh blood flowed from his fingers and dripped onto the ground. Lin Fan reached out and helped Wang Yunfei up. If you want to be beaten, then stand properly. You sent people to stop me, so you should have been mentally prepared. Old Master Wang saw that his son's mouth was covered in blood and his heart hurt. He stared at Lin Fan in rage. Rage points plus 555. Lin Fan said, Old Master Wang, just watch. If you attack, then it will be a matter between your Wang family and me. It won't just be a matter between your son and me. The moment those words were said, Old Master Wang was stunned. We're all young people, so overbearing now. Cousin, let me do such a small thing. Zhou Zhongmao wanted to help him. How could he let his cousin do such a small thing? Let me do it. I am afraid that you will kill him with one slap. Lin Fan said. If cousin really did it, just that slap alone would have caused Wang Yunfei's head to explode. He wasn't joking. He was speaking the truth. Old Master, what should we do? We can't watch young Master get beaten up. The Wang family manager said softly. He panicked. These people were just too lawless. They actually came to beat up their young master. This matter couldn't be stopped and would definitely spread out. When that happened, would the Wang family still have any face? Old Master Wang's face was terrifyingly dark and sunken. He was thinking about how to solve this matter. Since they suppressed Helper Yuan, that meant that they were really strong. With their current strength, they couldn't fight them at all. Even if they went to find helpers, they wouldn't have enough time. Just as he was thinking about all these things, an even sadder scream spread out. Wang Yunfei fell to the ground. His legs were already deformed. Lin Fan had broken them. His head was covered in sweat. He wanted to grab his legs, but the intense pain caused him to roll on the ground. Normal people wouldn't be able to take the broken bones. Son, old Master Wong was shocked. He headed up to check on the situation and then looked at Lin Fan. You are too much. Lin Fan said calmly with his arms by his side. Okay, I have done what I wanted to do. I will treat your son however he wants to treat me. It is normal. Also, I am the U City Lin family young master. If you want to take revenge, I welcome you. The moment he said that, he turned around and left. To him, the Wong family was like a no-man's land. No one could stop him. The Wong family servants looked on in shock as the three of them left. All of them stood rooted to the spot with their mouths agape. They were really frightened. That was just too terrifying. Chapter 2:15. What are you looking at? Quickly find a doctor. Old Master Wong's eyes were red as he hollered. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. The servants were terrified and got to work right away. They felt like the sky was collapsing. At that moment, no one dared to say a single word. This matter couldn't be hidden, and very quickly it spread out in Rome City. The Wong family's young master was beaten up and his legs were broken. No matter which servant spread the news, it had already become the biggest news in Rome City. Old Master Li was stunned by Lin Fan's actions. He didn't expect that Lin Fan would actually do such a thing after leaving Rome City. He should have totally offended the Wong family, and there was basically no chance of reconciliation. He knew that old Master Wong would definitely come to find him. As expected, not long later, old Master Wong came furiously. He came with rage. I can't find that kid, but I can find you, old Master Li. That kid stayed in your house before. Towards that, old Master Li felt that he was innocent. He didn't offend anyone and didn't do anything. So why did he find him? He wasn't the one who told him to beat up his son. Old Master Wong was furious and said that he was going to find that kid in front of old Master Li to teach him a lesson. He directly asked old Master Li where this person came from. Even if he was the emperor, he would take revenge for his son. Old Master Li was helpless and directly said that he was Yu City Lin family Lin Wani's son. You should know about Lin Wani, right? He was the one who caused a ruckus decades ago and didn't go to school. Old Master Wong was furious and didn't care so much. He directly said that he wanted to head to Yu City to find the Lin family for an explanation. But very quickly, he came to his senses. After that, he silently left as if nothing had happened. He didn't even say a word. It was like he understood something, like he knew what kind of person Lin Wani was. In the forest. How is it? Do you feel that the fun in the city is far from what Jiang City can compare to? Feng Poliu asked. He noticed that this kid basically took revenge. As long as he offended someone, he would fight to the death. Anyway, he didn't think that this kid would pick on the weak. It's all right, but it'll be more troublesome. What Lin Fan said was the truth. A big city had its benefits, but with his personality, he would definitely not fit in with a big city, which would lead to some conflicts. Although Jiang City was not a big place, it was closer to home. After being away for so long, he felt a little homesick. Father probably didn't expect that his strength had reached Master Realm. Of course, his current realm was not very high. He was still not very satisfied with this. He would return to his hometown to take a look when he broke through to the Great Grandmaster Realm. If he wanted to give a surprise, he naturally had to give a bigger one. Feng Poliu said, It is late. Let's find a place to rest. When the sky turns bright, we will continue on our way. The nine-headed bug stood on Lin Fan's shoulder, its 9 heads dozing off. Zhu felt that it was quite pitiful. It had been locked up in a cage all this time and had not had the chance to see the outside world. Now that it was out, it definitely wanted to take a good breath of fresh air. Not long after, Cousin, there's a broken temple in front. Let's rest there tonight. Cousin said. Feng Poliu frowned. Weird. Why is there a broken temple here? Who cares? Let's head in first. To Lin Fan, he didn't care about those things. It was good enough to have a place to stay, so why would he be so picky? A broken temple in the forest was really weird. There was also a giant tree growing in the temple. The roof was pushed open. Lin Fan and the others got off their horses and tied the rope to the tree. They pushed open the dusty and broken door. Weeds were all over the place, and there was a corrosive smell in the air. Be careful. I feel like something isn't right. Feng Poliu reminded. A broken temple in the forest, no matter how he thought about it, it was impossible. Lin Fan walked in front of the extinguished candle. He rubbed his fingers and lit it up. Someone should have lived here before. The candle looks really new. The broken temple was really empty. A stone statue from who knew what era stood there. It was covered in spider webs, and there were fist-sized spiders crawling on it. Zhou Zhongmao cleaned up a clean area and found some wood to start a fire. Cousin, have you cleaned up? And Lin Fan sat on the ground and looked around. He was a little helpless. As a rich family young master, he actually lived in such a broken place. If not for his good mentality, he would have collapsed long ago. Not long later, sounds spread from outside like the sound of horse hooves. There were many of them, and there should be people here. Kachi, someone pushed open the door. When the person saw that there were people in the temple, his expression changed. He smiled and nodded his head as a greeting. You don't mind us entering, right? Lin Fan said. This place has no owner, and we're just passing by. Why would we mind? Thank you, brother. The person who spoke was a guy. He looked ordinary, but he gave off an aura. He didn't look like a normal person. The guy walked out and was probably going to report the situation. Not long later, the guy brought a few people in. A girl and 6 guys. The girl was dressed in white and had an outstanding aura. Her expression was cold, and her eyes were really bright. As for the 6 guys, although they hid well, their auras weren't weak. They should be experts. Their gazes stopped on Lin Fan and the others for a few seconds before moving away and locking onto Nine Demon. After all, such a weird being was rare. They should have treated the girl as their leader. The 6 of them protected her in the middle and ensured that there were no gaps. 3 brothers. I'm Wu Ziheo. May I know where you're from? The man who spoke was the one who had asked if they minded. Although his appearance was very ordinary, his eyes exuded a kind of confidence. I came out from Rome City and passed this place. Who knew that there would be a temple where I could rest for a short while? Lin Fan smiled and said. Wu Ziheo smiled and then looked towards a 9-headed bug. Brother, this is? Lin Fan said. There is no need to call me brother. I am Lin Fan. This is my cousin Zhou Zhongmao. He is Feng San. Feng Poliu snatched and didn't say his real name. As for this, it is his pet, a mutated bug. Apart from having 9 heads, there is nothing special about it. What a good act, to be able to say that it had 9 heads and that there was nothing special about it. How amazing. Actually, to Feng Poliu, he was really afraid that Lin Fan would say that the bug was 9 bug gang's treasure and that he snatched it. Feng Poliu asked, all of you don't look like normal people. Where are you heading to? Wu Ziheo smiled. "'Tis a city to visit family." Lin Fan didn't say much, letting Feng Poliu brag to him. Anyway, none of them spoke the truth, so it wasn't fun to talk about it. What the F***CK? Visiting relatives? Who was he kidding? How could one visit family like that? Wu Ziheo didn't talk much with Feng Poliu. He returned to the side and spoke softly to his companions. His companions seemed to have heard something. They looked towards Lin Fan and the others curiously and warily. Feng Poliu said softly, Young Master Lin, I feel like they aren't normal people. As for where they are from, I really can't see it. I suggest we continue. There is no need to stick together with them. Lin Fan laid down. If you want to go, then go yourself. I am too lazy to move now. He looked towards the girl and noticed that she was looking at him. She blinked like she was teasing him. Rage points plus 111. Although the girl didn't show any disgust, she still provided some rage points. At the same time, she turned her head and didn't look at Lin Fan. Lin Fan found it boring. Why didn't she look at him more? Feng Poliu sighed. He knew that it was useless to ask. What opinions? If this kid could listen to him, then it would be great. Haze. Feng Poliu was helpless and didn't know what to say. He looked at the burning bonfire in front of him and was really engrossed. Perhaps when people were bored, they could watch ants moving house with relish. The broken temple was really silent. Both sides didn't speak. Those people were all sitting cross-legged like they were resting or recovering internal strength, maintaining their best state at all times. Pili pala. The sound of wood being burned exploded out. The red flames lit up the surrounding area red. Pung pung. The wind rose up outside. The broken temple's door was blown really loudly. Who knew how long passed? With a shio, something struck from outside. Lin Fan opened his eyes and saw an iron needle break through the air. The target was the 6 guys and 1 girl. Kung. Wu Ziheo pulled out his sword, his aura exploding as he struck the needle down. I told you that something would definitely happen. Feng Poliu said helplessly. He had seen more things than Lin Fan had eaten. From the moment these people came in, he had carefully observed them. There were many small tears on their clothes. Obviously, they had experienced a battle, and a rather difficult one at that. So what if something happens? It has nothing to do with us. Lin Fan continued to lay there. He didn't care much, as long as they didn't bully him. It was impossible for him to help out when he saw injustice. Moreover, that girl didn't give him any face at all. He just took a look, and she provided 111 rage points. Only people who had their heads pinched would help. Protect little Mississippi, Wu Ziheo roared in a low voice before rushing over with his sword in hand. He slammed open the door of the temple, and the sounds of intense fighting could be heard. Pucci! Instantly, the broken walls of the temple exploded. Numerous people struck and surrounded the 5 guys and 1 girl. They didn't say a word and attacked. The thick inner force was like a flowing river, continuously battering against the temple, causing it to show signs of collapsing. These people seemed to know their target. They ignored Lin Fan and acted like they didn't see anything. P.S. I recommend a book, Lord of the Monster Demons. This was written by my other little. If you're interested, go take a look and give your kids some motivation. Chapter 2:16. Good, beautiful. Pa! Lin Fan suddenly hollered, clapping and praising. The people who were originally fighting were startled by this voice and were momentarily stunned. Don't be stunned, continue. I am just looking. Lin Fan saw that they were stunned and waved his hands to tell them to continue. They didn't need to worry about him. Rage points plus 333. Rage points plus 333. Rage points plus 444. They were really amazing, and each of them provided Lin Fan with large amounts of rage points. What are you doing? Don't you know you scared me? Feng Poliu was frightened by Lin Fan. It wasn't that his actions were explosive, but that Lin Fan's sudden voice was really terrifying. I told you that you were such a coward. Look at how good it is now, a lonely night with people performing for you. How blissful, how delightful. Lin Fan said, although these people weren't strong, one had to say that it was tiring for them to fight. However, the way they fought was really beautiful. Lin Fan was really interested. Good damn. To those people, they really wanted to kill this fellow. They were killing people. So what was he doing? What was so good about it? Was he not afraid of them at all? Did he treat them like monkeys? Did you see what kind of background they had? Lin Fan asked. Feng Poliu shook his head. I didn't. Lin Fan was a little disappointed. I thought you knew. Feng Poliu laughed so hard that he was about to lose his breath. Do you really think I'm a god? There's so many powers in the world and so many martial paths. How would I be able to recognize them? That was the truth. No matter how strong the person was, he wouldn't dare to say that he could recognize all the martial paths. Cousin, their cultivation is not bad. They're all at martial path grade 11 and 12. Lin Fan said. These guys weren't young, and it was not bad for them to have such cultivation. Zhou Mao looked at them and didn't care much about them. Martial path grade 11 and 12 were not bad, but he felt like he could hammer them to death. Pung! Suddenly, a figure flew in from the outside. That person was Wu Ziheo. He was in a miserable state, with wounds all over his body. His left shoulder seemed to have been stabbed by a sharp weapon, and his bones could be seen. Wu Zihao was lying on the ground in pain. Miss, be careful. Old Thief Chun is here. He then looked at Lin Fan with a look of shock. Brother Lin, hurry up and leave. Don't stay here any longer. Lin Fan had thought that Wu Ziheo was very strong. After all, those who dared to be the first to rush out were all very strong. But who would have thought that he would be the first to bleed? This was something he hadn't expected. Suddenly, a savage laughter rang out. Today, all of you will die here. Immediately after, a figure attacked, the axe in his hand bursting with red light, directly chopping towards Wu Zihao. There was despair in Wu Zihao's eyes, but there was absolutely no fear. He did not loosen his grip on his sword. "Kid, go and die," Chen Rong hollered in rage. He waved the axe in his hand and slashed down. Bang! Wu Zihao was already in despair. He didn't even have the strength to resist. He thought that he would definitely die. However, he found that the pain did not come. Perhaps it was because it was too painful that he had lost consciousness. Very soon, a sound spread into his ears. When he opened his eyes, he looked at the scenes in front of him in disbelief. "Don't move. If you move, you'll die." Lin Fan reached out and blocked in front of Wu Zihao. His palm grabbed the axe. This was mixed energy broken jade hand. If he cleansed his stats, it would reduce a lot of problems. Chen Rong was astonished. He knew how powerful his axe was. Even if it was steel, it could split it in half. But Lin Fan just grabbed it in his hand. "You?" Chen Rong retracted his axe and retreated. He looked at Lin Fan warily. "Who are you?" Lin Fan said calmly. "Actually, I'm not anyone. You guys fight amongst yourselves, and I'm just watching. I didn't even think about doing anything. But I'm just a cheap person. If someone is nice to me, I'll treat him as a real friend. Originally, I didn't have any objections when you chopped him to death. Really, I didn't have any objections at all. But who knew that he couldn't even protect his own life and even wanted me to leave? Why don't you stop chopping him? You can find someone else." He was serious when he said those words. He could kill the others, but he temporarily couldn't kill this person. But to Chen Rong, it sounded like a provocation. Rage points plus 999, killing intent boiled. Chen Rong was filled with killing intent towards Lin Fan. Although he didn't know who he was, he suddenly popped out and stopped him. That meant that he didn't care about him at all. "Kid, do you really want to be a busybody?" Chen Rong asked. Although they didn't fight much, he could see that the kid in front of him wasn't easy to deal with. He was so young and actually had such cultivation. His background was definitely extraordinary. Lin Fan looked at Chen Rong. "Do you not understand human language? When did I say that I wanted to be a busybody? Just don't chop him. Can you chop someone else?" "I don't believe you." Naturally, Chen Rong didn't believe Lin Fan's words. He said, "I am Yuanzhou Chun family's head teacher, Chen Rong. With your strength, your status is definitely high. Maybe your family seniors know about Yuanzhou Chun family. It is better not to cause trouble. Consider giving Chun family face. In the future, Chun family will thank you." When one met an expert, one would report one's background first. Lin Fan was a little helpless. He didn't believe his words. He didn't lie. He really didn't lie. The people around all retreated behind Chen Rong. Naturally, they had to be wary when someone blocked their path. The 6 guys beside the girl were all injured to various degrees. They thought that they were dead, but who knew that someone would save them and give them a chance to breathe? "Is there something wrong with your head? I told you so clearly, so why are you wasting time?" Lin Fan was speechless. Was this fellow a fool? Didn't he say it clearly? "Don't chop him, you can chop the rest. It has nothing to do with me." Why did it seem like he didn't understand what he was saying? Rage points plus 999. "Arrogant kid, I said so much to you. Do you really think that I am afraid of you?" Chen Rong hollered in rage. Internal strength exploded out from his body. The red axe light was like a blazing sun as it slashed towards Lin Fan. The aura was too strong. This axe seemed to slice open the air, pulling out 2 long tails. Pung! Lin Fan raised his hand. His palm changed color and became really firm. He directly grabbed the axe. "Don't you understand what I'm saying? Or did you think that I was willing to say such nonsense to you? You just have to make me angry." Lin Fan hollered. He clenched his fingers, and with a kacha, cracks appeared on the snow-white axe like it could be shattered at any moment. Internal strength increased, physique swelled. Dual cultivation. When the 2 powers exploded out, it would give rise to a terrifying aura. Demon Ape Fist. Lin Fan punched out, and the ape demon that appeared behind him roared and punched out as well. Chen Rong was shocked. Before the fist landed on his body, the aura that spread out caused his clothes to swell up. A terrifying power spread towards him. Punk! Their fists clashed. A low and heavy sound spread out. To Lin Fan, it was really normal and it wasn't a big deal. But to Chen Rong, his expression changed like he was filled with disbelief. He took a step back, and when he stepped down, the ground cracked. The hand that grabbed the axe was trembling. Bang! Chen Rong retreated dozens of steps. His blood and qi were boiling, and his hands were trembling. That exchange of blows just now made him realize that the brat in front of him was very strong, terrifyingly strong. His opponent's inner energy was too dense. His strength was truly too great. He was actually somewhat unable to withstand it. Not bad. To be able to block it, it means that you have some ability. Lin Fan played with the axe and praised. It was indeed not bad. Wu Zihao stared at Lin Fan, dumbfounded. He had never thought that the person who stayed with him in the broken temple would be so strong. Who are you? Chen Chong asked. He was the head teacher of Chun family, Peak Master Realm. As long as he had enough luck, he could step into Grandmaster Realm at any moment. At this level, there would be earth-shattering changes. Lin Fan smiled. I told you at the start, but you didn't believe me and wanted to fight me. What's the point of asking now? Or do you think you can leave here alive? Feng Poliu's head hurt. What does this have to do with you? Why must you stand up for others? Sometimes, enemies were just randomly found by meddling in other people's business. There were many battles in the world every day, and death was a common occurrence. There was simply no way to deal with it. If he was Lin Fan, he would leave right away. Chen Chong looked at Lin Fan warily. There weren't many people who could snatch his weapon from his hands. Even in Yuanzhou, there weren't many who could do it so easily. Leave. Chen Chong retreated and then hollered. Kid, I remember you. You won't have a good ending if you go against Chen family. You saved them today. You are asking for trouble for yourself. You want to leave? Lin Fan laughed coldly. Instantly, internal strength boiled. Thick lightning wrapped around his palms. Internal strength exploded out like it was free. The strength of the lightning became more and more terrifying. All of this was formed from internal strength. Pala pala. Lightning boiled, and the surrounding trees withered from the lightning. Feng Poliu could sense that Lin Fan's internal strength had reached an extreme, even exceeding what a Master Realm should have. If this was used on other Master Realm experts, just one move would have sucked dry the internal strength in their body. Go! Lin Fan hollered, pressing down with his palms. The internal strength that he had accumulated for a long time exploded out. The originally quiet night was suddenly covered by lightning. How long? Needless to say, the small fries didn't even cry out before they were covered by the lightning, turning into corpses that only gave off black smoke. The effects of internal strength were too beautiful. It lit up half of the land. Chapter 217. Chen Chong felt as if he had seen a ghost. Just as he was about to react, the thunderbolt formed from inner force struck his back. With a boom, he fell to the ground. The clothes on his back were burnt and black smoke rose from his body. So what if he was a peak Master Realm expert? Feels good. Lin Fan felt really good. That feeling didn't need to be said. When internal strength exploded out, he felt like he was in control of everything. Cousin, go see if he is dead or not. If not, send him on his way. Lin Fan said. Zhou Zhongmao was willing to do such things for his cousin. He walked in front of Qin Chong and didn't even take a look. He raised his leg and landed. With a pong, his head exploded. He didn't want to know whether or not he was dead. Anyways, if his head was smashed, he definitely wouldn't be able to live. He then searched the corpse, and there was nothing on him. TSK. Zhou Zhongmao was disappointed. These people didn't bring anything out, so his cousin didn't gain anything at all. Brother Lin, thank you. Wu Zihao was really grateful. If not for Brother Lin helping, the outcome would have been catastrophic. Lin Fan looked at him and said, You don't have to thank me. This is actually the first time we've met. You reminded me to leave when we first met. which means that you're not bad. I just saved you. The others have nothing to do with me. He hated being used by people, especially when one looked like they hated each other so much. He didn't think about interfering. What did he say? No matter what Yuan Zhouchen family, they didn't offend him, so he couldn't take the initiative to deal with them. As for Chunqiao, he could only blame himself for being unlucky. Wu Zihao understood what Lin Fan meant and still thanked him. He then looked at the girl. "Little miss, are you okay?" "I am okay." The girl shook her head. It was obvious that she was shocked by what happened. However, when she looked at Lin Fan, her eyes shone with a bit of hope. What a practical person. Just now when Lin Fan looked at her, he gave her some rage points. Now that Lin Fan used his strongest strength, there was actually a change. That was just too practical. Lin Fan returned to his original spot. "Do you think Yuan Zhouchen family is strong?" Feng Poliu said, "I'm not sure. I didn't come into contact with Yuan Zhouchen family. However, to have a peak master as their teacher, they shouldn't be weak. There should be a strong family here." "Forget it. It has nothing to do with me anyway. He was the one who wanted to find trouble with me. What can he blame me for?" Lin Fan replied, "You were the one who beat him to death, yet you said that it had nothing to do with you. That was impressive enough." At this moment, Wu Zihao walked over. "Brother Lin, my family's young miss wants to talk to you. Is that okay?" Lin Fan looked at the girl. She forced out a smile, much better than before. In Lin Fan's eyes, this was just a shallow woman. A forced smile appeared on his face. There was no need to think too much about what was going to happen next. Even an idiot could guess what the other party was going to do. Something must have happened, and he needed help. This broken temple isn't that big. If you have something to say, just say it. I can hear you. Lin Fan said. Now this broken temple was on the verge of collapsing, like it could collapse at any moment. The woman said, "Young Master Lin, I'm the daughter of the Yuan Prefecture's Tao clan. But due to certain reasons, the Chun clan caused trouble for my Tao clan. In the end, I was the only one who escaped with them. I want to ask young Master Lin to help me take revenge. So long as I take revenge, I'm willing to give a miraculous pill my Tao clan obtained to young Master Lin." Lin Fan was expressionless. As expected, it was such a small matter. "Then, who did you want to find in Zwa City?" Lin Fan asked. Tao Ling said, "My aunt is married in Zwa City. I'm heading there to find her." Lin Fan smiled. "Forget it. Then you should find your aunt. I don't have time to worry about such things. Moreover, pills are useless to me. For just one pill, I want to wipe out an aristocratic family whose strength I don't even know. That is too risky. I want to live for a few more days." He didn't want to be a sharp blade in other people's hands. Recently, he had offended too many enemies, so it was best to slow down. Nine Bug Gang was the biggest threat now. Once his strength increased, he would definitely head there to take revenge. Tao Ling wasn't dejected. It was obvious that she had expected this. Wu Zihao said, "Brother Lin, my little miss faced a huge change. Please understand. It is okay. Since your little miss has relatives in Zwa City, then let's find them. As for revenge, we still have to rely on ourselves." Lin Fan said. When Feng Poliu heard that, he heaved a sigh of relief. He finally didn't go and find trouble. Luckily, very quickly, the sky was bright. Wu Zihao said goodbye to Lin Fan. They had to rush and try to reach Swiss City in a month. Only then would they be safe. As for the current route, it was impossible. Chun family wouldn't let them off and would continue to send people to chase. "Brother Lin, thank you for saving me. We will meet again if we are fated." Wu Zihao cupped his fists. "Have a safe trip." Lin Fan waved his hands. Wu Zihao and the others left, slowly disappearing. One couldn't see their backs. "Young Master Lin, it is best if we don't offend them. Although Master Realm is strong, there are always stronger people. Who knows, we might face people that even I can't fight." Feng Poliu said. He was telling Lin Fan about his experience, hoping that it would understand. I know. Aren't you afraid that I will cause trouble? Don't worry, I have caused enough trouble recently. I don't have the energy to cause more enemies, at least before I solve a certain problem." Lin Fan wanted to wipe out 9 Bug Gang as his goal. Who knew whether or not 9 bug gang exploded? Wiping out a division was a form of venting a little. Feng Poliu rolled his eyes. This fellow really made him worry. Who knew how Lin Wani took it? However, he had been thinking about a problem. When he first met this kid, he didn't notice how strong he was. How did he become so strong now? That was just too unrealistic. Even if he was sick in the head, he shouldn't be so sick in the head, right? 3 people and 1 bug rode leisurely on horses and wandered in the wilderness. That night, City, Lin Wani stood in the courtyard and looked into the sky. Who knew what he was thinking about? Without Lin Fan and the Lin family, it was much colder. Old Master, the weather is cold. Old Wu placed a coat on Lin Wani's body. Brother Wu, what do you think that unfilial kid is doing? He has left home for so long. Is he able to adapt outside? Lin Wani asked. No matter what, even if he made him angry, he still thought about how that unfilial kid was doing. Old Wu stood beside Lin Wani and missed young Master. After all, he had left for so long, and to young Master who had never traveled far, this was a tough matter. Old Master believed in young Master. With his intelligence, he is definitely doing well. Suddenly, in the distance, a bright light appeared like it was spitting out from somewhere. It actually lit up the sky. Shortly after, the light dissipated and everything calmed down once more. And Lin Wani's expression was solemn as he rose into the air. He reached out, and a fake mountain in the courtyard was smashed. A streak of light swept out. It was a dark red halberd. Old Master. Old Wu wanted to follow, but Lin Wani stopped him. Take charge of City and don't go anywhere. At that moment, Lin Wani turned into a streak of light and disappeared from the world. At the border, there were cracks that opened up and the light came from within. The light pulled out many threads like it was about to squeeze out from within. In the sky, a black dot landed. Lin Wani was wearing pajamas, but that didn't affect his domineering aura. He landed from above, and the end of the halberd smashed onto the ground. Pung! With the halberd as the center, the ground cracked and many cracks appeared. Lin Wani stared at the cracks that seemed like they could breathe. His expression became really solemn. A terrifying aura exploded from his body. This aura had condensed into a physical form, causing the space around to show signs of collapsing. This strong aura struck the cracks like he was showing off to the living beings within that if they dared to come out, they would die. 20 years ago, I was able to force all of you back. 20 years later, I will kill all of you. Lin Wani said fiercely. His voice turned into a sound wave that struck out, causing the cracks to become unstable. Not long later, the cracks slowly closed. Lin Wani stood there and didn't move at all. Even when the cracks disappeared, he didn't move at all. He stood there until the sky turned bright. Old Master, are you okay? Old Wu came from City and asked. I'm okay. I didn't expect it to be faster than I expected. Brother Wu, take care of City. I need to defend here and can't go anywhere. Lin Wani said. Old Master, I will guard it. Old Wu said. Lin Wani shook his head. No. Many people return alive. 20 years have passed, and they have become stronger. You are still not their match. Old Wu's expression was solemn. He knew what Old Master was worried about. Those who return alive were all top experts. He had witnessed that battle that didn't cause much of a commotion. It wasn't that it was a small matter, but that the commoners didn't come into contact with it. When they did, it meant that the defense line had collapsed and they would die. Old Master, are they plotting to tear open the cracks and pretend to come out? Actually, they're trying to wear down our willpower. Old Wu was worried. Lin Wani said in disdain, we're down willpower? If my willpower was so easy to wear down, then 20 years ago, why would I need to wait until now? As long as I am here, they can forget about breaking through City's defense line. King Wudong came to recruit him. He was filled with disdain. That was a kid's game, and he didn't care about it all. There were more important things waiting for him. How would he have time to mess around with them? Chapter 218. When Lin Fan and the others passed a village, they noticed that it was in ruins. There were corpses all around and many women who weren't dressed properly. It was obvious that they were tortured when they were alive. Cousin, could it be that they encounter bandits? Zhou Mao frowned. Although he liked to kill his enemies, he normally wouldn't attack normal people. That was Zhou Mao's bottom line. Feng Poliu couldn't bear to look at that. Okay, the world is just like that. Every moment, tragic things happen. We're just passers-by. Don't bother too much. Why are you so cold? Lin Fan looked at Feng Poliu. In the past, I noticed that you were timid, but now that you've faced such a thing, you can say it so easily. Do you have any compassion at all? Feng Poliu said, You make it sound like you have compassion. When you kill, you are more vicious than anyone else. That division was wiped out just like that. You didn't show any mercy at all. Nonsense. How can that be the same? I know the difference between bad people and normal people. Lin Fan retorted. Today, Feng Poliu was going to fight him head-on. Feng Poliu seemed to recall something. His tone became a little depressed. What good or bad? It is just my own definition. To me, there are no good or bad people in this world. Everything is centered around me. We just want to live. Why? You can say what you have in your heart. Maybe I can help you analyze it. Lin Fan looked at Feng Poliu's expression and knew that he had a story. He wanted to hear it. Suddenly, in the quiet village, only the sound of wood creaking from the intense flames could be heard. But just now they heard light coughing. There is someone, Lin Fan said. Feng Poliu was wary. A gray internal strength spread out. Bug controlling technique controlled the bugs and sensed the movement in the ruins. There, Feng Poliu pointed at the collapsed ruins and said. Zhou Mao walked forwards, ignoring the burning wood. He grabbed and flipped it open. Many pieces of wood were flipped open and a path was cleared out. Very quickly, the scenes in front of them shocked Lin Fan and Feng Poliu. 2 corpses were lying on the ground. These 2 corpses had been burnt black. Their faces could be vaguely seen, but they were also burnt beyond recognition. Zhou Mao pushed the 2 corpses aside and saw a wooden plank on the ground. The coughing came from under the plank. Just as his cousin lifted the wooden board, a sharp dagger suddenly appeared in the dark space and attacked him. It was very slow. To a true expert, the speed of the stab was no different from a snail crawling. Zhou Mao did not retaliate. Instead, he took a few steps back and said, Come out. Lin Fan and Feng Poliu exchanged glances with one another. It was obvious that they didn't expect that someone was still alive. Soon, from the dark cellar, a pair of tender hands covered in black ash reached out. Child. Lin Fan didn't expect it to be a child. She was a young girl, probably 8 or 9 years old. His hair was long, but it was curled at the ends, obviously burnt. The exposed skin was red, as if it had been burned. The skin was broken, and there were many blisters. Her face was covered in black ash, and her eyes were filled with terror. She is lucky to be able to live. Feng Poliu said. Lin Fan said, Kid, what happened here? Who did this? The little girl didn't say anything. She just looked at Lin Fan and the others. Suddenly, when the little girl saw the 2 blackened corpses, tears flowed down from the corner of her eyes. Feng Poliu said, Let's go. It is enough that we saved her. What happens next depends on her. Whether she lives or dies depends on whether or not the heavens give her food. We have caused so much trouble. Who knows when we will face an enemy we can't defeat? Feng Poliu pulled the reins and wanted to leave, but he noticed that Lin Fan didn't move at all. He was staring at the little girl. He admitted that the little girl was pitiful, but there were many pitiful people in the world, and there was no way to pity all of them. Young Master Lin, I never thought that you would have a saint's heart. Feng Poliu said. Lin Fan said, Is that so? I don't feel it. I just feel like there are some things that I need to do. If you say that I am kind, then I admit that I am a kind person. Am I right? Feng Poliu was speechless and didn't know how to reply to that question. If you were kind, then there would be no bad people in the world. Little brat, do you want to leave with me? Lin Fan looked at her and waited for her choice. The little girl looked at Lin Fan. She then looked at the once beautiful village that had been reduced to such ruins. Who knew how much damage this little girl's heart had suffered? She nodded. Okay, get on his horse. I will bring you away from here. Lin Fan said. He pulled the reins and walked forward slowly. Oi, why do you have to get on my horse? Feng Poliu shouted. What was going on? You wanted to bring her away, and now you want to place her on my horse? That wasn't a joke. Lin Fan said, I will give you a chance to be kind. Since you say that I am a saint, then I will give you a chance to perform. Feng Poliu smiled bitterly and then pulled the little brat up. Sit properly. Don't fall off. When Feng Poliu's palm landed on the little brat's shoulder, the pain on her body actually lessened. It felt really cool and not as painful as before. Feng Poliu's eyelids were filled with helplessness. This made him think back to the time in Insect Valley. They were all adopted by Master, and each of their experiences were really tragic. Just him, Feng Poliu, he had never seen what his parents looked like in his life. Right? Feng Poliu pulled the reins. Lin Fan smiled. The cultivation techniques that he and Cousin cultivated were used to kill people. They didn't learn healing techniques. But that might not be the case for Feng Poliu. As an Insect Valley expert, how could he not have learned it? The little girl grabbed Feng Poliu's arm and looked behind. That was her village. Her mother and grandmother were left there, and there were many friends. After a long while, a small army appeared in front of them. There were a few hundred of them. Their footsteps were messy. They carried spears and many things in their hands. There were chickens, ducks, and some pigs tied to spears. Two people placed them on their shoulders and happily walked. When the little girl saw these people, she grabbed her burned arm. Even if it was painful, she bore with it. Tears rolled in her eyes, and fresh blood flowed down her arm. Feng Poliu felt the small body tremble and understood what was going on. These were King Wudong's troops. Lin Fan rode his horse past the army. When the soldiers saw these people, they were all stunned. It was obvious that they didn't expect that someone would dare to pass them so calmly. Lin Fan squinted his eyes. When he passed by the leading army, he suddenly stopped, turned around, and asked with a smile, Let me ask you guys something. Did you guys destroy the villages at the back? The leader of this army was an earl, an official who could lead 100 people. He held a roasted chicken in his hand, and his mouth was covered in grease. He walked towards Lin Fan viciously. We are the army under King Wudong. Who are you? We wiped out the village, so what? Nothing. I like people who speak the truth. Then, can you die for me? Shwa. A streak of light flashed across. Lin Fan pulled out his blade and then sheathed it. He was really quick. This blade couldn't be caught by the naked eye. Poochie. A head slowly separated. Blood shot into the sky and dyed the ground red. Their eyes opened wide. All the soldiers were stunned. To them, it was like they had seen a ghost. Earl was killed. They didn't dare to believe that the Earl, who was perfectly fine, actually died just like that. Rage points plus 66 rage points plus 77 rage points plus 66. When the little girl saw those scenes, her eyes opened wide like she didn't expect it. Uproar. The soldiers all reacted. Earl was killed. He killed Earl. Capture him. Don't let him run. Damn, you actually dare to attack us. We are King Wudong's soldiers. Do you want to die? Lin Fan didn't care about the soldiers' shouts at all. From his point of view, these were like mosquitoes buzzing in his ears. So annoying, really annoying. Cousin, take them down and tie them to the trees. Don't kill them, Lin Fan said. Yes, cousin, Zhou Zhongmao replied. He got off the horse and looked at the struggling ants. He gave out a cold smile. I have to show mercy to deal with all of you. How problematic. Peng. The moment he said that, Zhou Zhongmao charged into the crowd. To normal commoners, this army of 100 couldn't be blocked. But to true experts, it was far from enough. To them, Zhou Zhongmao was like a berserk beast. They couldn't block him at all. They didn't even have a chance to fight back. They cried out. They screamed. Even if Zhou Zhongmao showed mercy, it was really problematic to control his strength. Occasionally, one or two soldiers would explode. The scene immediately shocked the soldiers. Too terrifying. It was just too terrifying. Not long later, the cries stopped. The soldiers were all tied to the trees. There were a lot of trees here, and each person was tied to a tree. It was quite a shocking sight to see. Lin Fan stood there and said, "Look at my face. Don't die without knowing who did it." Rage points plus 66. Rage points plus 66. Although the number of rage points was small, luckily there were enough of them. "Let us go. We are King Wudong's soldiers. Let's go," they hollered. Even if their faces were swollen, at that moment, they felt the scent of death covering them. Chapter 219. Feng Poliu didn't know what Lin Fan was doing. Why did he tie the soldiers to the tree? He really didn't understand. But very quickly, when he saw Lin Fan's next actions, he instantly understood. Your existence doesn't mean much to me. Furthermore, I'm not someone who likes to meddle in other people's business. All I can say is that you guys are really unlucky to have bumped into me. Then, there's nothing I can do about it, Lin Fan said calmly. Then, the lightning that was condensed from his inner strength appeared in his hands. He turned his head and tossed the lightning in his hand. The lightning landed on the ground, and with a pung, a bright light exploded out. Not long later, a huge flame exploded out. Lin Fan got on the horse and noticed Feng Poliu's stunned expression. "What are you looking at?" Feng Poliu stared at Lin Fan. "You are too vicious." "When did I say that I wasn't vicious?" Lin Fan asked. Screams spread out from the back. They were burned by fire. Rage points plus 111. Rage points plus 111. At that moment, the rage points totally exploded. To Lin Fan, the main thing wasn't rage points, but that if he didn't do it, then no one would. Why not be more vicious and do it right away? Then, everything would return to normal. How great! Feng Poliu was impressed by Lin Fan. He was truly convinced. There was nothing he could do if he wasn't convinced. He really didn't expect this kid to burn them all with a single fire. Rage points plus 111. Rage points plus 111. He welcomed the last wave of rage points. The burning black smoke floated into the air. The little brat stared at the red flames and then at Lin Fan. Suddenly, a voice spread out from the distance. "You are so young, but why is your killing intent so heavy? You are so vicious. It is rare for me to see such a thing." The voice reverberated. At the same time, a strong wind extinguished the flames. But it was all too late. Not many of those soldiers could survive. "An expert," Feng Poliu said. Lin Fan calmly turned his head. Who liked to be a busybody, to even care about a fire? In the distance, an old priest walked over with a horsetail whisk. He pinched his black beard and looked at Lin Fan solemnly. From afar, he noticed that there was smoke rising from this place. He thought that something had happened, but when he arrived here, he couldn't believe his eyes. There were actually so many soldiers tied to the trees, and then that brat set them on fire. He actually wanted to burn these soldiers alive. He couldn't bear it. He would not allow such a thing to happen in front of him and be so indifferent. "Old Taoist, can you not be a busybody?" Lin Fan looked at the old Taoist in the distance and said, "There are too many injustices in the world. Too many. But as long as I see it, I have to care. Little friend, you burn them alive. Your methods are truly cruel. I wonder what they did to make you so angry." One step from the old Taoist was equivalent to dozens of steps for others. Lin Fan frowned. These soldiers passed by her village and killed and pillaged. She was the only one who survived, so I burned them. Do you think I went too far? The old Taoist said, "When will there be an end to revenge? Even if they did something wrong, why do you have to use such intense methods to harm them? After all, they're all lives." Feng Poliu didn't say anything. He looked at the old Taoist, and then he recalled, "You are a disciple of Qing Shan Temple." It wasn't that he knew who the person in front of him was. Instead, it was the color of the other party's clothes that made him recall which sect or faction liked to wear cyan clothes. In the end, he thought about Qing Shan Temple. "That's right, I am Qing Shan Temple's 78th generation grade 2 disciple, Yin Yuzi." Yin Yuzi said. Feng Poliu frowned and then said softly, "Young Master Lin, this fellow isn't simple. He is actually a grade 2 disciple. Based on what I know, Qing Shan Temple disciples are split into 9 grades. Grade 1 is the highest. Grade 2 isn't bad either." He is obviously a grandmaster. Lin Fan looked at him and laughed coldly. I heard a phrase in the past, when you don't know what is going on, you advise people to be magnanimous. If you can avoid it, then avoid it. If you can't, then kill them. It is obvious that you're the person who advised me to be magnanimous. Pung. Lin Fan got off the horse and stepped on the ground. His internal strength was boiling. It was obvious that he was ready to attack. Young Master Lin, don't be rash. You haven't seen his strength. If he is peak grandmaster, you aren't his match. Feng Poliu said. Lin Fan looked at the small support system. Rage points, 55006. At points. Physique 380 to 390 increased, instantly reaching peak Master Realm, also known as Max. He continued to raise his internal strength. Internal strength, 390. Internal and external cultivation had reached peak Master Realm. Raise Barbaric Saint Battle Technique. Consume 16,500 rage points. Barbaric Saint Battle Technique. Returning to true. Consume 16500 rage points. 9 Heavens Lightning Drawing Technique. Returning to true. Poochie. Poochie. Just at that moment, a sound exploded out from Lin Fan's body. It was the sound of bones shaking like something was expanding. Young Master Lin, you... When Feng Poliu looked at Lin Fan, he was shocked. He saw something that he couldn't believe. Lin Fan lowered his head and opened his mouth, revealing his teeth. Liquid flowed down his gums, and many green veins appeared on his face. A really strong aura was accumulating in Lin Fan's body. Feng Poliu didn't dare to believe what he was seeing. Why did young Master Lin, who was originally fine, suddenly change? The muscles that were exposed to the outside tightened, and every muscle was covered with tiny and dense veins, as if there were many worms entangled on them. Calm. A low roar came from Lin Fan's throat. At that moment, a storm exploded out from his legs. His improvement was just too quick. The power of his physique totally suppressed his internal strength. How can a Master Realm have such strength? Feng Poliu didn't dare to believe it. Even if he had been through many things, he had never seen such a weird scene. Yun Yuzi's expression was solemn. Little friend, your killing intent is too strong. This isn't a good thing for you. There are some things that you can't do even if you want to. For your future, let me destroy your cultivation today. Pung. Lin Fan stepped forwards and the ground instantly cracked. Numerous pieces of stone flew into the air and a low voice exploded out. He disappeared from a spot, and when he appeared, he was in front of Yun Yuzi. You really talk too much nonsense. Pung. He punched out, and the air seemed to distort as his righteous force exploded. Yun Yuzi was really solemn and slapped the horsetail whisk in his hand. In an instant, he felt a very heavy force coming at him. Good fellow, dual cultivation? Yun Yuzi didn't dare to be careless. He deflected the force, and then smashed the horsetail whisk towards Lin Fan's chest. When the horsetail whisk struck Lin Fan's body, it was like striking a steel board, giving out a low sound. Lin Fan took several steps back and then patted his chest. It was just a little painful. You old priest, you think you are strong and like to be a busybody. I didn't want to do anything to you, but since you want to trash my cultivation, then let's see who trashes who. He had already suppressed this berserk power. Peak Grandmaster Expert. From that short attack, Feng Poliu could see his cultivation. Although he wasn't the strongest in the peak, he wasn't weak either. Young Master Lin, let me do it. Facing such an expert, it was time for him to attack. With Lin Fan's Master Realm cultivation, he probably wasn't his match. No need, let me do it. Lin Fan reached out and stopped Feng Poliu. Although it would be a tough battle, he had already made his mind up. He was going to personally kill this fellow. Feng Poliu wanted to say something, but looking at Lin Fan, he knew that he didn't need to say anything. It was useless even if he said anything. Lin Fan opened his arms, and thick internal strength boiled. Pili Pala. Although the 9 Heavens Lightning Drawing Technique was just a Master Realm technique, it had many uses. Using the strength of the body and internal strength to form the lightning that descended from the sky. Beside Lin Fan, many thin bolts of lightning landed. Normal people couldn't get close at all. This Feng Poliu naturally didn't believe that Lin Fan was drawing lightning from heaven and earth. After all, that was impossible. Not to mention a master, even a grandmaster couldn't do that. He noticed that Lin Fan's body was shaking at a weak frequency. This was using the shaking of the body and internal strength to form lightning. How much internal strength did he need to support that? To him, when other people cultivated this technique, they definitely wouldn't use it like that. As for him, who knew how long he would be able to last, barbarian patterns, vital energy like a dragon. Hung long. In a blink of an eye, a thick vital energy rose up from Lin Fan's body. His vital energy exploded out. At the same time, black patterns appeared on his body, filled with a wild feeling from the desolate era. "Old monk, you're gonna die," Lin Fan hollered and charged towards Yun Yuzi. Yun Yuzi sensed that explosive aura, especially when he saw the lightning that landed around the kid. He was shocked. This was different from the people he had faced before. Even if he was a peak grandmaster, he didn't dare say that he could cause such a shocking aura. Dao Star, Scattering Hand. Yin Yuzi didn't dare to be careless. He became really serious. The horsetail whisk in his hand instantly expanded. Many white threads covered the sky like it was about to cover Lin Fan. Lin Fan pulled out his blade. The strongest blade of the lightning blade, 4 strokes, slashed forwards. Poochie! The horsetail whisk exploded. The lightning that merged with internal strength landed and smashed onto Yun Yuzi's body. Pung! Dao Star shook like a stone being tossed into water, causing many ripples. Demon Ape Fist. A demon ape appeared behind Lin Fan's back and punched towards Yun Yuzi. His stamina and internal strength didn't decrease at all. He could use all heart cultivation techniques, and external techniques to the extreme. He didn't need to think so much at all. He didn't even need to worry about internal strength drying up. P.S. Thank you, Alliance Leader MOU. Thank you. Chapter 220. Hung Long. The ground was shaking. The auras of the two of them were just too strong. However, Lin Fan was still unable to kill the old Taoist in front of him in the shortest amount of time that he could muster. Even if he had improved a lot, the gap between them was still a little huge. After all, they were a huge realm apart. How did young Master Lin's strength become so strong? A realm difference, and he isn't at a disadvantage. Even a top sect can't develop such a talent. What fortuitous encounter did Lin Wani get to give it to young Master Lin? Feng Poliu's imagination wasn't big enough. He could only think that Lin Wani got it, and then gave it to Lin Fan. However, he didn't expect that Lin Fan had a small support system. Qingshan Temple was a strong sect. Although it was a temple, their way of doing things was that if one didn't agree with what they said, then it was wrong. Anyone who retorted their sect's theory would be corrected. No matter what kind of sect it was the same. Especially such a sect that had been around for a long time. Even if it was wrong, they wouldn't admit it. If they did, then they would lose all their pride. Lin Fan's words weren't wrong at all. The old priest's words did make sense. Just because Lin Fan didn't agree, he wanted to trash his cultivation. That was just too overbearing. The little girl looked at the scenes in front of her. Everything that happened was like a battle between gods to her. Little brat, take a good look. All of this happened because of you. Although I don't know what is worth his attention about you. Since he brought you here, he wants to develop you. You can't forget kindness. Your family is dead, and he will be your only support. Feng Poliu said softly. The little girl didn't react. Her eyes lit up like she understood. Just at that moment, Yun Yuzi couldn't take it anymore. His cultivation was much stronger than him, but he was unable to take him down. There were open wounds on his body. There were also many burnt areas. What kind of monster are you? Yin Yuzi hollered. Lin Fan also had many wounds on his body. It hurt a little, but it didn't matter. He felt that his condition was still very strong. He didn't feel tired or exhausted at all. Stinky old Taoist, don't even think about running away. Today, you will definitely be lying here. Just tell me, No one could change it. Lin Fan's aura continued to expand. Thick internal strength spread out, and even the air started to twist. Yin Yuzi felt that he had used up a lot of his inner chi. Although the other party wouldn't be able to do anything to him in the short term, the consequences would be dire if this continued. Up until now, he hadn't noticed any signs of exhaustion from the other party. The degree of internal strength explosion was something that normal Master Realm experts would have used up long ago. They wouldn't even be able to lift a finger. However, Lin Fan was so energetic, and he didn't feel anything weird at all. That was terrifying. Little friend, you are too confident. I'm telling you all this because I hope that you can understand what you did wrong. Do you really think that I can't take you down? Yin Yuzi hollered. He cultivated the big, whole, true scripture to balance the three souls, to refine energy, to reach the point where the body and soul were one. This was the cultivation method of Qingshan Temple. To the outside world, it was the essence, energy, and soul. Stop talking nonsense. I am too lazy to talk to you. Lin Fan's expression turned cold, and he charged towards him once more. Pung! The two of them clashed once more. Not only did Yin Yuzi have to take each shocking attack, but he also had to be wary of the lightning that suddenly appeared in the sky. Lin Fan refreshed his points. He didn't use the blade technique. He just maxed out mixed energy broken jade hand. Pung! Yin Yuzi hollered in rage and punched Lin Fan's chest. Even if he was a dual cultivator and his body was extremely strong, with his internal strength, it was enough to injure him. Lin Fan's mouth was covered in blood. His fingers changed color and became really sharp, stabbing right into his stomach. It broke open his skin. Yin Yuzi felt pain. He twisted his body with a weird movement technique and retreated. Damn! Yin Yuzi covered his stomach. Fresh blood flowed out. If he reacted a little slower, the kid's fingers would have pulled out his intestines. What a vicious technique. It seems like you are related to the evil path. Another cauldron fell from the sky. If Lin Wani knew that this old priest said that mixed energy broken jade hand was an evil technique, he would probably beat him up. With a creak, the bones in Lin Fan's chest started to recover. His body was strong, but his internal strength wasn't weak either. He broke a few bones, wrapped them up with internal strength, and connected them back together. What does it have to do with your mother? Lin Fan scolded. How would he give this old priest time to talk nonsense? He just charged forwards. He could see that this old priest wanted to talk nonsense with him, to use this period of time to recover internal strength. How would he give him the chance? He wouldn't give him any chance at all. Feng Poliu was prepared to attack. He could see that the people from Qingshan Temple were, as the rumors said. They looked like they were righteous, but actually they weren't. He could even say such words. As expected, he was so shameless. He was waiting for the outcome. Yin Yuzi definitely wanted to run. As long as he ran, he would be able to tell others not to worry about the difference between realms. In the past, he saw someone fight a peak Grandmaster Realm expert at Master Realm. Not only was he not killed, he even forced him back. As expected, not long later, Yin Yuzi shouted, "Demon, just wait. I will let you live today, but in the future, I will wipe you out." The way he called him changed. He had transformed from a little friend to a demon. Just at that moment, Feng Poliu attacked. Old priest, since you are here, where do you want to go? I wanted to let you go, but since you said that, naturally, I can't let you go. What? Yin Yuzi was confident in his ability to escape. At this moment, Yin Yuzi noticed that the person who suddenly appeared in front of him wasn't a normal person. The internal strength that spread out from his body was that of a peak grandmaster like him. No, his internal strength was stronger than his. What Yin Yuzi didn't understand was that since he was so strong, why didn't he attack and instead looked on from the side for so long? Get down. Feng Poliu slapped down. His thick internal energy exploded out like water from a flood. Pung. Yin Yuzi was shocked. He tried to block, but his internal strength wasn't at its peak. He couldn't take it. He fell toward the ground. Pung. Damn it, this is so infuriating. Yin Yuzi was furious. But suddenly, he felt a ferocious aura coming from behind him. You want to run? Can you run? The voice was dark and sunken, causing him to shiver. Not good. Was he going to die here? Chapter 221. Pung. A tragic cry spread out. Yin Yuzi was badly injured. His back was covered in blood, and a piece of flesh was grabbed by Lin Fan. Smelly old Taoist, you say that my move is evil? That's great. Let's see if my evil move is vicious enough. Lin Fan laughed coldly. Mixed energy broken jade hand was cultivated to the returning to true realm. It was enough to crush anything, much less flesh and blood. Ah! Yin Yuzi cried out. His eyes were filled with blood, and fresh blood spurted out from his back. When he saw the flesh and blood on his back being grabbed, rage boiled in his heart. However, more than that, he wanted to flee. He was finished. He was really finished. He was going to die here today. Wait. Yin Yuzi's features were all twisted together. The pain tormented him so much that he was about to collapse. There was an expert in front and a demon behind. The chances of him escaping were just too low. What Yin Yuzi didn't expect was that there was actually a peak Grandmaster realm expert here. Are you F*** King messing with me? To only attack now. That was just too shameless and despicable. Pung. Just at that moment, Yin Yuzi was shocked. He told him to wait, but Feng Poliu didn't care and attacked. That palm was too terrifying, smacking Yin Yuzi away and causing him to spit out blood. There was a loud explosion. Yin Yuzi fell to the ground and spat out fresh blood. His face was ashen white. I told you to wait. Let's talk nicely. What's the point of fighting? I didn't offend all of you. Yin Yuzi reached out and shouted, hoping to stop the violence that was happening. No, you have already offended me. Lin Fan said. Feng Poliu was prepared to kill. Before he had a conflict with him, he didn't want young Master Lin to offend too many people. But now that things had reached such a stage, there was no chance of reconciliation. In that case, he could only use a killing move and ruthlessly beat this fellow to death here. Lin Fan walked in front of Yin Yuzi and squatted down. You old monk, why are you terrified now? Didn't you say that I was a demon and wanted to help the heavens to kill me? Then bring it on. Yin Yuzi fell to the ground and his face was filled with shock. Friend, let's talk nicely. I was in the wrong, I admit it. He really didn't expect this guy's cultivation to be so strong. He thought that Lin Fan was just at Master Realm, and he could easily crush him. Who knew that this Master Realm nearly caused him to collapse? Moreover, what he didn't expect even more was that the guy who didn't look like much was actually a powerhouse at the peak of the great Grandmaster Realm. It was even stronger than him. Since he was so powerful, why did he have to keep such a low profile? Was he pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? Just as Lin Fan was about to get closer, viciousness exploded in Yin Yuzi's eyes. The arm that was hidden in his sleeves was like a snake as it struck towards Lin Fan's throat. Patter! Yin Yuzi wanted to sneak attack Lin Fan, but who knew that he would react so quickly? A blood-curdling scream was heard. His fingers were like sponges that were directly deformed. Creak, creak, creak. The sound of bones breaking could be heard. Let go, let go. Yin Yuzi cried out. His cries were too miserable. AI, you're really unlucky. Feng Bolu said. He could be a busybody, but he had to know how to speak. The words he said at the start were indeed a little arrogant. Now it was a tragedy. There was no turning back. Lin Fan smiled. Didn't you say that you wanted to trash me? Now, I can actually cripple you. To be honest, I've never crippled a peak great grandmaster's cultivation in my life. I wonder what it would feel like to do so. To Yin Yuzi, these words were like a bolt from the blue, causing his brain to buzz. What did he say? He wanted to trash his cultivation? Yin Yuzi was shocked. His face was ashen white. Little friend, you can't do that. I am a grade 2 disciple of Qingshan Temple. I have a high position. If you trash my cultivation, even if I don't blame you, Qingshan Temple won't let it go. Why don't we just let it go? I feel that not only are you shameless, but you're also dumb. Do you think we can let it go just like that? Lin Fan said. He was lazy to say anything more to this fellow. Feng Poliu said, let's just kill him. Leaving him is a problem. Yin Yuzi looked at Feng Poliu. How vicious. He could even say such words. Couldn't he have some sympathy? Suddenly, Lin Fan moved. He slapped Yin Yuzi's stomach, and internal strength surged in, turning Yin Yuzi into a useless person. Eh! Yin Yuzi was stunned. His expression changed as he hollered in rage. How dare you? How dare you? He was about to go crazy. He really didn't expect that Lin Fan would actually trash his cultivation. He was a peak grandmaster. To reach such a realm, he had suffered so much. Now that it was actually destroyed, he wanted to fight him to the death. I will fight you to the death. Yin Yuzi wanted to pounce over and fight Lin Fan, but he had no energy. His body was empty. He had no internal strength at all. That feeling of helplessness was something he didn't dare to imagine. Pong! Lin Fan kicked Yin Yuzi to the ground. Don't you like to persuade people? In the future, I hope that you can continue. When you face things that you think are unfair, stand out bravely. Feng Polio looked at Yin Yuzi's tragic state and actually pitied him. What a tragic person. He was a peak grandmaster expert, and now he instantly became trash. The difference was too huge. Normal people couldn't take it. Not to mention normal people. No one would be able to take it. Young Master Lin, can I kill him now? Feng Poliu asked. Lin Fan looked at Feng Poliu and said, Why are you so cruel, wanting to kill him for no reason? Don't you think that you are too much? Feng Poliu was speechless. Was that something a human could say? Who's the cruel one? You flipped the words. You were the one who wanted to kill him for no reason. He suddenly noticed that the world had changed. Then, what do you want to do? Leaving him alive will be a disaster in the future. Feng Poliu said. He didn't want Lin Fan to offend so many enemies, but if he did, he hoped that Lin Fan could kill him. It was best if he smashed him so badly that even his corpse couldn't be found. That was the safest. Don't you think that it is best for him to be like this? Lin Fan said. He grabbed Yin Yuzi's arm. Didn't you say that I cultivated evil cultivation techniques? Let me tell you, this cultivation technique is called Mixed Energy Broken Jade Hand. Its secret isn't that it is really sharp, but that it can really shatter the meridians and bones in your body. It can allow you to have no energy left in your body and no internal energy gathered. Feel it. Puchi, Yin Yuzi cried out. I heard that your Qingshan temple is really strong and you definitely have many methods. But now I want to see what else you have. Lin Fan smiled. When he pressed down with 2 fingers, 2 finger marks appeared on Yin Yuzi's bones. You bastard, if you have balls then kill me. Otherwise, you will regret it. Yin Yuzi hollered. He was in total despair. He didn't expect that such a thing would happen to him. Lin Fan looked at Yin Yuzi in disdain. Don't worry, I won't kill you. Why don't you just kill yourself? With your current situation, I don't even need to think to know. If your enemies find out about this, you will be unlucky. Feng Poliu was speechless. The current situation was worse than death for Yin Yuzi. Maybe death was much better than this. At that moment, Lin Fan raised his blade and slashed down. The blade light slashed and sliced those trees. Those soldiers who were tied to the trees didn't care if they died or not. Anyways, under that blade, they couldn't even think about living. Okay, the matter is solved. It is time to leave. He retracted his energy and returned to his normal state. Just as he was prepared to leave, he turned his head and looked at Yin Yuzi like he thought about something. For someone like you, wearing clothes is a little underestimating you. Cousin Go, take off all his clothes. Yin Yuzi was furious. He was already on the verge of exploding. When he heard those words, he became even more furious. You are too much. Ha! The moment he said that, Zhou Zhongmao kicked his face and then started to strip his clothes. Very quickly, Yin Yuzi was totally naked. A peak Grandmaster Realm expert had a bad start. He met him on the way and tried to act cool to persuade him. Who knew that he would be screwed instead? Not only was his cultivation trashed, but his body was also tortured. Hate. He really hated him. Lin Fan didn't kill Yin Yuzi mainly because the rage points he provided were too many. He was a little reluctant. Lin Fan got on the horse and left. Before he left, he said, I hate such people the most. Feng Poliu sighed. He really didn't want to kill him? He didn't understand why he wanted to leave him alive. Why didn't he just kill him? Damn. Yin Yuzi looked at the back view in rage. His heart was bleeding. He raised his hand and wanted to swear to the heavens that if he didn't take revenge, then he wasn't a human. But when he raised his hand, he felt like all his bones were about to explode. Crippling my cultivation, even destroying my foundation. What a vicious heart. What vicious methods. This old Taoist has already admitted defeat, yet he is still so overbearing. How can he be so excessive? Yin Yuzi cursed inwardly. If that was possible, he really wanted him to feel the pain of having his cultivation trashed. Wait, all of you wait. Although Yin Yuzi wanted to die, he wouldn't die now. He had to wait for a chance. He just wanted to return to Qingshan Temple. Only then would he have a chance to take revenge. However, he was naked now. When the wind blew, his body felt cold. It was inconvenient to move. In the wilderness, if one didn't have strength, it would be dangerous at night. Fierce beasts would treat him as prey and rip him apart. Also, what was his name? He actually forgot to ask. If not, how was he going to take revenge? Chapter 222. Not bad. During this period of time, that old monk gave me close to 10,000 rage points. Lin Fan was satisfied. Peak Grandmaster Realm was really a good source of rage points. He treated Yin Yuzi like that, and he would remember it and never forget what happened today. As long as he didn't, then the rage points would continue to strike him. The angrier he was, the happier he would be. It would also allow him to walk on the path of becoming stronger. How good would it be if there were a few more of such idiots? Lin Fan wanted to meet such a person, but he felt like it wasn't easy. After all, there weren't many idiots, and if he met one, he had to cherish them. When Feng Poliu heard Lin Fan's words, he was stunned as he looked at him. Oh my God, he actually wanted to meet him. Was there a need to be so arrogant? He was thinking whether or not Qingshan Temple would go crazy. After all, he was a grade 2 disciple. His cultivation reached peak Grandmaster. No matter where he was a rare talent. Now, he was trashed just like that. That was something that he couldn't accept. Young Master Lin, it is best to be safe. If you think too much, it will be dangerous. People from Qingshan Temple aren't easy to deal with. If you meet them in the future, you must be careful. Feng Poliu reminded. He really didn't expect that this place wasn't a luxurious city. So why would he meet disciples from large sects? These disciples had nothing to do. So why did they have to come to such a remote place? Lin Fan smiled. What are you saying? If they aren't good people, then I am. If I meet people from Qingshan Taoist Temple again, I will definitely teach them a lesson. Feng Poliu had a deeper understanding of Lin Fan. He was someone who wasn't afraid of anything. He was impressed. He really was impressed. As for that girl, she wasn't attractive at all. He just wanted to do it, which was why he brought her back to Marshall Path Mountain. A few days later, Marshall Path Mountain appeared in Lin Fan's sight. After going out for so long, it felt more comfortable to be back. However, the peaceful days couldn't last for long. After heading out, he realized that the outside world wasn't safe at all. Without some strength, it would be too easy to be hammered by others. When he entered Wandering Dragon Sect, he took a look outside and didn't alert anyone. He realized that they really knew how to live their lives. They actually bought a lot of chickens. Before he even got close, he could already hear the chickens crowing. Regarding this, he felt that this was really good. 20,000 taels of silver did not allow them to be extravagant. Buying some chickens to continue laying eggs would allow them to have an endless supply of eggs. Without Lin Fan, Marshall Path Mountain had no soul. But for Yuan Tianshu, this period of time was not bad. He thought that Zhang Tianshan would take the chance to attack and snatch the fruits of Marshall Path Mountain's victory. Who knew that Zhang Tianshan would be able to bear with it and not show any signs of wanting to? At first, he thought that he might have been mistaken. Maybe from the start till now, it was just his imagination. Actually, Zhang Tianshan didn't want to snatch the fruits of victory. But very soon, he overthrew this idea. This was because Zhang Tianshan did something which he personally witnessed. It once again confirmed that Zhang Tianshan had thoughts in his heart. That night, He saw Zhang Tianshan standing in the night sky with Liang Yongqi by his side. He actually called him sect leader and not deputy sect leader. When he heard that, he felt that it wasn't right. If he was Zhang Tianshan, he would definitely say that he wasn't sect leader, just deputy sect leader. He had to pay attention to the way he addressed him and not call him that. But Zhang Tianshan acted like he was really happy. So he understood. There was a more terrifying plot brewing. As for why it was so calm now, it was because he was waiting for the best time. He really could bear with it. Yuan Tianshu always felt that there were always people better than him. Although Marshall Path Mountain was small, to be able to live here meant that he wasn't a simple person. Of course, apart from Lin Fan's servants, there was also the extremely stupid Liang Yongqi. Just at that moment, Yuan Tianshu noticed that a few people appeared at the foot of the mountain. They were back. Lin Fan and the others were back. He didn't head out to welcome them. At such a time, he had to avoid all problems and not get dragged in. Go Zi saw Yuan Tianshu leave hurriedly and was a little confused. What happened? When he looked down the mountain and saw a few figures on the stairs, he immediately shouted cheerfully. Young Master. When Young Master wasn't here, he couldn't even sleep well. He was afraid that Young Master would face danger outside. He hurried down the mountain. Lin Fan saw Go Zi walk over and smiled. Did anything happen on Marshall Path Mountain while I wasn't here? Young Master. Nothing happened at all. Go Zi smiled happily and then walked beside Lin Fan. Young Master, you must be tired from being outside. I will prepare dinner for you now. It was already afternoon, and the sky was about to turn dark. When Go Zi saw the foreign brat, he was confused. Who was she? However, he didn't ask. He just knew that Young Master brought her back. You're finally back. Feng Poliu heaved a sigh of relief. During this period of time, he had gone through too many things. He didn't expect that in such a short time, he would offend so many enemies. 9 Bug Gang, Imperial Dynasty, Zhao family, Xiadao sect, Qingshan Temple, King Wudong. Thinking about it, none of the 5 powers were good to offend. If they knew that they were on Marshall Path Mountain, the outcome would be catastrophic. Just thinking about it was terrifying. Go Zi, don't rush to cook. Go to the city and buy some clothes for the brat. Lin Fan said, Yes, young master. Go Zi acted right away without hesitation. The little girl was a little nervous when she came to a foreign place. She hid at the back and looked around. The things that she had experienced had left a huge shadow in her heart. It was very, very difficult to erase this shadow. Dinner time. You all saved her. Zhang Tianshan looked at the girl who didn't have anything special about her and asked curiously. Yeah, King Wudong's army wiped out their village, and I bumped into her. I noticed that she was alive, so I brought her back. Lin Fan said. Zhang Tianxian was shocked. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with bringing a brat back. But Feng Poliu told him that they offended many people outside, and he had to pay attention not to attract their attention. It was okay to wipe out King Wudong's 100-man army, but why did they offend a sect that they couldn't contact? Even if Zhang Tianxian thought that he was someone who had been through many storms. But when he heard this, his hands actually trembled slightly. Yuan Tianshu kept silent and didn't say a word. He felt like things had become a little dangerous. No, there was definitely a problem here. Why did Lin Fan offend so many powers? There was definitely a hidden plot. Suddenly, Yuan Tianshu thought about a possibility, which was that Lin Fan was using such a method to warn Zhang Tianxian. He told him directly that he had caused many problems outside, and if he wasn't afraid, then he could snatch his sect leader position. As long as he dared, then he would have to face those strong enemies. The more he thought about it, the more likely it was. Maybe it was the same as what he thought. Yuan Tianshu snuck a look at Lin Fan and was filled with disbelief. He was so young and actually had such skills. He was really shrewd. Lin Fan looked at the little girl. Little brat, this is Marshall Path Mountain. You can just stay here. Also, what is your name? The little girl kept silent and didn't say a word. She just lowered her head and ate the rice in her bowl. You don't want to say? Then forget it. When you want to say, then you can tell us. Lin Fan said, and then looked towards Feng Poliu. I will give you a chance to perform. In the future, this brat will follow you, and you will teach her martial path. If she has some talent, then let her join Martial Path Mountain as the third disciple. Me? Feng Polio looked at Lin Fan. His words were so simple, a chance to perform. He really wanted to say that he didn't want this chance and was willing to give it to someone else. However, when he saw how pitiful the little brat was, he didn't joke about it. Perhaps a casual and joking refusal would be a blow to this little girl. Okay, no problem. Such a cute little brat. I am at ease teaching her. Feng Poliu said. Liang Yongqi pitied the little girl's situation. I am the grand disciple of Martial Path Mountain. Junior sister, if you have anything, just tell me. Zhang Tianxian felt much better. Since Martial Path Mountain opened, they finally had a disciple. Although she was a little brat, if they developed her well, she might become a pillar of Martial Path Mountain. Fuzhou giant ship. Gang leader's rage was deafening. However, to the various hall heads, gang leader, don't be angry, it was useless. It was like he had evaporated from the world. They had pasted his portrait in the cities around Fuzhou. Unfortunately, till now, there was no useful news. Originally, with their abilities, it would not have been difficult for them to track down the other party's whereabouts. Now they were convinced. They just couldn't find him. Gang leader, I think that if we want to investigate further, we have to go to Rivertown. From the loss of the treasure to the death of our men, it all happened in Rivertown. Maybe we can find out everything we want to know from Rivertown, a hallmaster said. Although these two things couldn't be linked together, but they felt like they were connected. Gang leader raged. Since you know what to do, then why don't you go search? What are you trying to say here? Let me tell you, you have to find him. If not, I will teach you a lesson. Yunlu City was wiped out. It was like an invisible slap on 9 bug gangs' face. Only 9 bug gang wiped out others. No one dared to behave arrogantly in their territory. Chapter 223. That night, Lin Fan was in the room dealing with his own Martial Path situation. Suddenly, rage points flew over. Rage points plus 666. Rage points plus 333. There were a lot of them. He was wondering if the smelly old Taoist was angry, or if young Master Zhao was unable to pay the bill after being stripped by him. Anything was possible. With my current strength, I can put up a fight against a peak great grandmaster. Lin Fan could sense that his own strength was in an explosive state. Although the old monk was peak grandmaster, it was hard to say. No one knew where he stood among his peers at the same level as him at the peak realm. After all, Feng Poliu was a peak grandmaster expert, but he had the ability to suppress Yun Yuzi. This was why there was a difference between the two. Looking at the data, physique, 390, peak master realm. Internal strength, 390, peak master realm. Heart cultivation, purple sun forcing scripture, grade 33. Demon heart enforcing scripture, grade 10. Cultivation technique, vengeful tiger blade technique, returning to true. Bug controlling technique, basics, unmovable king body, returning to true. Lightning blade 4 strokes, returning to true. Mixed energy broken jade hand, unlearnt. Demon ape fist, returning to true. Big dipper silence palm, returning to true. Barbaric saint battle technique, returning to true. 9 heavens lightning drawing technique, returning to true. Rage points, 13555. Many of the cultivation techniques he cultivated were raised to the returning to true realm. The more cultivation techniques one practiced, the greater the effect on one's strength would be. None of the cultivation techniques he cultivated were extra. One could even say that if they were, he wouldn't want to cultivate them. After all, it was just a waste of rage points. I will send a few cultivation techniques to cousin. Lin Fan was prepared to send the barbaric saint battle technique and unmovable king body to cousin. These 2 cultivation techniques were suitable for cousin. Although his cousin walked the path of both internal and external cultivation, his physique cultivation could only be considered average. It wasn't that profound. To him, his cousin seemed to be born with godly strength. After that, he consumed the purple gold dragon essence pill, which allowed his cousin's potential to be further developed. When he was outside, his cousin's cultivation was at the initial grade 10. But now, he could feel that his cousin was about to break through. The violet gold dragon essence pill was the main reason for this. Looks like I'll have to save some good pills for my cousin in the future. Cousin didn't have a small support system like him. Without the support of any pills, he would cultivate step by step. In the future, the gap between them would grow bigger and bigger. This was not what he wanted to see. This was something he didn't want to see. U-City, border region. Lin Wani sat cross-legged and floated up into the air. The halberd beside him gave off a weak light, as if it had formed some sort of connection with him. This was the battle intent contained within the halberd. After being sealed for 20 years, even a divine weapon would gradually lose the terrifying battle intent that it once had. Buzz! Suddenly, the void trembled slightly. A small crack appeared on the border, and light sputtered out. The crack wasn't big, but it was like a living thing, slowly twisting. Lin Wani still closed his eyes and didn't bother about what was happening in front of him. At that moment, a person walked out from the crack. This person was a kid who was around 5 or 6 years old. He was white and chubby, and he looked really cute. "Uncle, I want to see the outside world." The little fatty's tender voice seemed to have some sort of enticing power as it spread out and entered Lin Wani's ears. "Pa!" Lin Wani opened his eyes. In his eyes, there were 2 balls of flames burning. This voice was too familiar to him. Scenes from the past appeared in his heart. "Shio!" The halberd floating beside Lin Wani turned into a streak of light and stabbed into the little fatty's chest. The little fatty lowered his head and looked at his chest. There was no drop of blood and no organs. "Hee, 20 years of not seeing each other, and you treat me so violently. Lin Wani, you really disappoint me." Suddenly, the tender voice disappeared. What replaced it was a hoarse voice, and there was a teasing tone within. "If you have the ability, then come out," Lin Wani said solemnly. Killing intent boiled, causing the entire area to shake. This was a killing intent that could shake heaven and earth. Anyone who was under this killing intent would be covered in fear. "It isn't time yet. I heard that there is someone guarding the tunnel alone, and the first person I thought of was you. After all, you're the only person I remember. Don't worry, in just a short while, we will arrive," the little fatty said. A deep smile appeared on his face. Then, his body softened, turning into a liquid that flowed into the crack. "Remember, this time, despair will cover all of you. Wait for us to descend." The voice gradually disappeared, and the small crack that had appeared gradually closed up. Everything returned to normal, as if nothing like this had ever happened. Lin Wani didn't say anything. He looked forwards and waited for these people to arrive. Not long later, Old Wu descended from the sky. He sensed the movement at the border and rushed over right away. "Old Master," they appeared. Lin Wani said, "No, they're just messing up my mind. They won't appear so quickly. Use my name to inform the other defense lines to pay attention. We definitely can't let them come out." "Yes," Old Wu replied. "Also, chase away the refugees in U-City. This isn't a place they can stay. No matter where they go, don't stay in U-City," Lin Wani said. Understood. Old Wu knew what he had to do next. Maybe a shocking battle would occur at any moment. As for the specific time, he didn't know. Maybe it would be tomorrow, or January, or 2 months. All of that was uncertain. But the opening of the crack meant that this battle was unavoidable. Lin Fan returned to Marshall Path Mountain for a period of time. He didn't have much to do each day. During this period, Huang Boren came to take a look. After all, he invested in this. When he saw that Marshall Path Mountain had one more foreign disciple, his mood was the same as Zhang Tianshan's. He was happy. It was a good start. Feng Poliu was not bad. He started to help that brat build up her foundations. If Lin Fan was the one teaching her, she would go get some rage points, and then he would teach her how to add them. Feng Poliu was different. He was professionally educated and had a famous teacher teaching him. He knew how to develop disciples. So teaching him was the best decision. "Young Master Lin, do you want to head out again?" Feng Poliu asked. It wasn't that he knew that Lin Fan wanted to head out, but when he looked at Lin Fan's expression, he noticed that he was tempted. Lin Fan said, I do. I have nothing to do in Jiang City, so I want to head out to take a look. Feng Poliu was helpless. Young Master Lin, you just came back a few days ago, so why are you so anxious? Why not calm down and cultivate? Although I don't know how you cultivate, you are already peak master and need to slowly comprehend the path of Grandmaster. To Lin Fan, he wanted to cultivate as well, but he couldn't bloody cultivate at all. He was someone with a small support system. He needed some special things. That was what he had thought. With his special physique, as long as he stayed in Rivertown, trouble would definitely come looking for him. But he really overestimated himself. He stayed for so many days and didn't even see a fly. If not for some random rage points striking him every day, he would wonder whether or not the people he released were all dead. I know you are afraid to head out with me. Don't worry, I won't bring anyone. Just help me take care of Marshall Path Mountain. Lin Fan said. Marshall Path Mountain had too little high-end combat strength. If Feng Poliu left with him and Marshall Path Mountain faced problems after they left, who would be able to handle it? So, he wanted to leave Feng Poliu on Marshall Path Mountain. Feng Poliu wasn't courageous and didn't like to offend people. He was afraid outside, so he didn't bring anyone and headed out alone. If he was lucky, he might even be able to break through to the great Grandmaster realm. Young Master Lin, it is better to be safe. Sometimes you are too rash, and when something really happens, you will regret it. Feng Poliu said. He had seen too many things. He didn't want young Master Lin to look down on others. Who knew what he would face outside? Maybe an unassuming person could be the most terrifying person. This kind of thing was not non-existent. He personally faced it before. During lunch, Lin Fan told them that he would be leaving Marshall Path Mountain tomorrow. Zhou Zhongmao was the first to follow, but Lin Fan rejected him. After going through some things, he felt that the life of a rich family young master wasn't so easy to enjoy. He had to raise his strength. He set a small goal for himself. 1 year. As long as he didn't die, he had to become the strongest expert. If other people made such an oath, they would have been scolded to death. After all, people wanted face, and no one would believe such a shameless oath. To become the strongest expert in a year, why not just buy a piece of tofu and kill himself? You all stay on Marshall Path Mountain. I don't need anyone to follow me. I will leave Marshall Path Mountain not for anything else, but to raise my cultivation. Lin Fan said, if it was possible, he hoped to meet some disciples from large sections. It was best if they deserved to be beaten up. If he beat them up, he wouldn't show any mercy. Zhang Tianshan looked at Lin Fan and felt like he wasn't reliable. Lin Wani passed his son to him, but now he couldn't manage him. That feeling made him feel despair. Sect leader, why don't you rest for a period of time? Zhang Tianshan said. Lin Fan waved his hands. I have rested enough, so I will leave tomorrow. There's no need to say anything. I will leave Marshall Path Mountain to you all. Wait for me to return. I will give you all a surprise. Zhang Tianshan was helpless. Don't say surprise. What he was most afraid of was bad news. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.